I think we're live. Hey, welcome to another episode of 6 and 20 Metropolis. We're coming to you from a slightly different setup today, having some internet problems with a new, streaming setup. So Speedy from NotSoSpeedRuns has been gracious enough to host us tonight, or run the actual stream portion of this for us tonight. So we're going to be moving along, but I just wanted to say a big thank you first to Speedy for running the stream. So welcome back, guys. We took a week off. There was some personal stuff going on, and now we're back, and we're gonna jump right back into it. First things first. Before we do take care of any business, let's go ahead and go around the table and introduce everyone. So why don't we go ahead and start with Sam?
Hi, I'm Sam, also known as Harley's Armory. I'm going to be playing Charlie. She's blind and likes to fight people.
Just fight people?
Yeah.
You mean like take away guns from people, or kind of knock guns out of their hands?
I like to slap people's hands.
Yes, this has happened multiple times. All right, next up, why don't we drop down below and go to Alex?
Hey guys, I'm Zippo. You can catch me here on Twitch at Zippy_Zippo. I will be playing Henry Windsor, a medical student by day, vine slinging hero by night. Yeah, there we go. That's what. Yeah. So,
have you adopted Vinefellow yet? I mean, that seemed to be the name that everybody was hoping for you.
Vinefellow? I guess that could be like a nickname. I mean, yeah, let's do it. We can call him Vinefellow. Let's do it. He's Vinefellow.
And last but not least, we'll go over to Lauren.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I am playing Rosalind Percival tonight. She is a former child star turned investigative / tabloid reporter who is she really likes talking to people. That's all. There's nothing nefarious, no powers going on, just natural charisma and some healing. Very normal stuff.
Just normal.
Mm-hmm.
So out of curiosity, given who you're playing and your character and everything else, have you checked out Jessica Jones season 2 yet?
Yes. Watched it last night when I was ill. Helped me through it.
Are you done yet? Are you done with season 2?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not done yet, but the changes that are going on for Patsy, have been really. It's been an interesting arc, and every time something comes up with that, my mind immediately jumps back to, I wonder what Roz would do in this situation.
Yeah. She was totally based off a combination of Trish Walker in the body of Jessica, because I just like that aesthetic a lot.
Does the leather jacket come with it?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm not done with the second season, but Patsy Walker does become a superhero in the comic books.
Yeah, she does. And
yeah.
So Sam and I were actually talking about this. I think the story arc is definitely going to play out that way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what all this is about. My one question is, how they're going to do that. But that's I'm like I said, I'm looking forward to the end of season 2. I'm looking forward to everything just kind of rolling up into whatever they decide to do next with these characters. But it's been awesome so far.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, so are we. All right, a couple things of business before we get started. It's been a couple of weeks, so just wanted to let you know what it is that we're playing. We're playing City of Mist. It's a game by Son of Oak. Welcome again, here kind of a thing. We're actually doing a little bit of a sponsorship deal or a partnership deal with Son of Oak to get a little bit of a discount, and I just posted the information in chat. If you follow that link and you use the coupon code 6 and 20 fan, you can get a copy of the core book, which is this gigantic 500-page thick thing. I mean, this thing is huge. Copy of the book and the PDF for the price of just the book. You can't get this deal anywhere else. The price or the PDF, I think, runs about $20, and then the core book is, of course, $60, and you can't buy them together in any other way or fashion. So, you guys want a copy of the book? Go ahead and grab it from that link. which takes you directly to Sunbloke's site, and then just use the coupon code 6N20FAN. Trying to think of whether there's anything else I need to share tonight. No. So with that, why don't we jump right back into the story of the doozies. So previously on City of Mist, or 6N20 Metropolis, the doozies found themselves in a bar called the Junkyard in Tinseltown. The Junkyard happens to be the local hangout for the Alley Cats, who the crew had just come from an encounter with when saving Lily Hans. Lily Hans, yes. Yes. When they walked inside, it turns out Henry was being a little aggressive in the situation, and with the ladies following up inside, there was some attempt to reduce the stress in there, and kind of bring it down to a level where everybody would just be able to have a conversation. Well, Roz didn't quite do so well, and that brought in a consequence of a bunch more alley cats kind of coming into the situation. So in that circumstance, Sethana stepped up and basically charmed the shit out of the room, and I'm not sure quite how she did it because it was a freaking amazing role. I mean, you can watch it last time; it happened last time. But anyways, so what I thought was going to be a hell of a bar fight, a la Jessica Jones or Luke Cage kind of a thing, ended up being a nice social hour with Henry and Roz and Charlie sitting around a table with Henry, kind of trying to, talk his way through the situation and be aggressive, with Roz being, sort of charming and very subtle, and Charlie just being, no, I'm not going to deal with this shit. And Seth Anna just kind of drinking at the bar with Lily. To which you guys found a number of pieces of information. Real quickly, Lauren, do you want to share any of the highlights?
Oh boy, right. You totally mentioned that. And
I did totally mention that. I was wondering if you were going to do that.
I prepared for it expertly because I can tell you some stuff about it.
Okay.
Well, basically, we were questioning them about Julia Sables and about Alexis Dere and her disappearance from the library.
Right.
We know how they contact Julia Sables, who was after Lily Chow and her friend Hans.
Sorry, Lily Chow is what I made a mistake.
And her friend Hans.
It was Hans, yes.
So we were trying to figure out a way to intervene there, since Henry especially didn't like that this woman was going after people, especially a kid in this case.
Right.
We also found out some fun stuff about Alexis Dere and her disappearance from the library, mainly that she seemed to walk out of there of her own free will and get into a car owned or run by the service Apollo, where Chariot awaits. So that, I think, are the main things that we found out from Juggy. They are very, very scared of Miss Sables, but they are even more scared of someone else. Yeah.
And
right, not Alexis, but somebody hired them on Alexis' behalf, or so they say, to take her from the library.
To escort her from the library.
And that's who they're really scared of.
Right. And you now, as a group, are waiting for a call from Juggy for what reason?
Going to tell us where Miss Sables wants to meet him, under the premise that they have Lily Chow, they have more information on her.
Right. And so after that whole bar occurrence, the crew kind of split went their separate ways, and we had a couple of downtime montages. So the first one, I believe, was it Henry that went first, or was it Roz that went first?
Henry.
Okay, so Henry went first, and Henry dealt with just sort of the emotional fallout from his aggressive behavior, and just kind of was grappling with that as he was about to go off and go do his work. for his day. And Roz, following up on an interesting lead, is now exploring and had a conversation with the marketing. Was it the marketing director of Apollo?
Yes, Miss Liza Elliott.
Miss Liza Elliott, who was now going to make an arrangement so that she could have a conversation with Mr. Apollo himself, the founder of the company. And so that's where we sort of fade into all of this again as we come to Charlie's downtime montage. Charlie, how would you like to spend your day?
I think she's gonna get up, put on her little glasses, head downstairs, get some Lucky Charms, and eat breakfast with her family.
Okay. And so what are you trying to accomplish here with your downtime action? If you're looking at the montage, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the montage, you can do a number of things. You can give attention to your logos, which is something that this sounds like.
Yeah, I'm giving attention to my logos. I'm basically spending quality family time with my family.
Okay. And so which of your logos does this apply to?
Let me look. My routine.
Okay. Your routine.
Of, having a really, family. Like.
Okay, so describe Charlie's. Let's start with Charlie's house, and we'll start with Charlie's room. Where does Charlie live? I mean, even being blind and with the abilities that Charlie has, she probably has a great amount of information and detail about her surrounding environment.
I would say Charlie lives in, her family lives in an apartment in, the city, but it's it's not just an apartment. It's like one of those apartments that's an entire 3 floors of a building and really fancy, very open spaces, lots of windows, a really rich home apartment.
Okay. In a downtown high-rise kind of a thing?
Yeah, upper scale Manhattan, New York.
Okay. All right. So then what does Charlie's room look like? What are the important elements to Charlie about her room?
Well, for Charlie, it's her room is the perfect daughter's room. It's neat. It's, it's white. Everything's a cream color. It doesn't really have a lot of her own personality.
Okay.
Because she is trying to be the perfect daughter for her family.
Okay. Is there anything? So just to kind of to finish that setting up of that location. Is there anything really that matters to Charlie that's personal there besides, say, her, what she carries on her person?
I mean, there is her fighting stuff. Think of it like Buffy the Vampire Slayer's trunk that she had in her room growing up, where it's a hidden bottom where she keeps all her stuff. Okay.
All right. And so as Charlie is leaving her bedroom, was she on the first floor of this apartment or this structure, the second floor or third floor of this?
She's on the first floor, and their dining room is on the. She's on the second floor, and her dining room is on the third floor. Any rich people, I feel a lot of rich people have their dining area really high up for some reason.
Okay. And let me guess, it looks out onto the city?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And there's a balcony.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I want to live there.
Yeah. Dream home.
Okay. So you come to the table and you see that your father, or you can sense that your father is just kind of sitting there and he's reading the paper at the table. And you can hear it move. And by hearing it move, you can see that it moves, and he's kind of looking at you. And as you're making your way to the kitchen table, or the dining room table.
With my Lucky Charms.
With your Lucky Charms.
And I'd sit on a chair, and I'd sit cross-legged and just sit there and eat my Lucky Charms.
And he looks at you and he says, "Well, you're up a little early for being out so late, young lady."
Just trying to keep up with the schedule of getting up when you ask me to and starting my day so we can get ready and go do your campaign stuff.
Well, listen, you were up really late last night. I'm not really sure that you're going to look your best today to be out with me on the campaign trail. So why don't you just take the day for yourself and spend it with your mom as she's trying to organize some arrangements for a dinner party that we're going to be having very shortly.
Okay, sounds fine. Crunch.
Charlie, are you okay? You never want to spend time with your mom working on stuff.
I just think, I'm just trying to be a good kid and help out as much as you can because I know that you really want to win this election.
He kind of looks at you strangely. When did you become so mature?
I've always been mature.
Right. And he goes back to reading his paper and sipping coffee. You can see and see that there's a half-eaten plate of eggs and something else. A sensible, good meal for an aspiring mayor. As your mother kind of walks in and she's on the phone and she's talking to some caterer about catering a party at the house in a couple of nights. You can hear that there's going to be about 100 people there.
Mm-hmm.
And your father, kind of walks over, gives you a kiss on the forehead, and says, "Be good, kid," and kind of walks out the door.
I'm going to go upstairs and get dressed and leave the house.
You're going to leave the house? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so as you're making your way towards the front door, you hear, "Charlie, where are you going?"
Oh, just for a quick walk.
All right. Well, your father said that you're going to help me.
Yeah, I'll be back eventually. Okay, bye. And I'd walk out the door and just slam it shut behind me.
Okay. And so what is Charlie doing with that time now?
She's gonna go and try to meet up with Roz.
All right, so we're gonna call
Screw
that
your montage.
Your downtime montage action is that
I ate Lucky Charms with my dad.
You ate Lucky Charms with your dad. All right, so you gave attention to your logos, your routine. Okay, that was the shortest montage ever. I swear to God, that was awesome.
I didn't want a montage right now because I
just want to be with my new cool older friend.
The one that buys me drinks at the nice club.
It was watered down.
Oh, I'm sure you're a bad influence on her, Roz. I'm sure you're a bad influence.
I am.
All right. So that's kind of that's the downtime. And I forgot to acknowledge that Valanda's not here. And Savannah is definitely not with us tonight. So she's going to do her montage action, when she returns next week. We'll go ahead and, we'll play through that as well. So now that montages, your normal routines are sort of happening a little bit, what do you guys want to do next? How do you want to move forward?
We have been chatting.
And oh my God, have you really?
It's like we've been texting in the game and out of the game. We want to arrange a meetup for now, just so that we can update each other back at the Double R Diner.
Okay.
The Rambunctious Rabbit.
The Rambunctious Rabbit.
Which is part of a chain.
Which is part of a chain. There's one in the downtown district.
Yes.
There's one in the blue collar district.
Yes.
For additional purposes, just for information, there is one in Tinseltown as well.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Go to the fancy one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We were in the downtown one, right?
That's correct. It was a short walk from the sort of the commercial square that you were all in when you encountered the Alley Cats and Lily Chow.
All right. Well, I will group text everyone and tell them let's go meet at the one that we were at downtown.
Okay.
And
And so,
got a selfie with it. Just because Roz likes selfie. No, it wouldn't be that.
She can't do that while selfieing.
Yeah, how do you think phones work, Johnny?
She'd have to like set it on something.
Right, you set a timer and you go.
So like that mirror in front of you?
I would never do it. I would never do that. I'd probably cock my head though, because it's a good angle for me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay. So, what time? I mean, so generally, what time are you establishing this?
Well, my meeting was at 4:30, and then
It lasted until about 7, I believe.
oh, that interview
It was-
lasted till 7.
It was a long interview. Remember?
It was the wait.
Yes.
And then another 30 minutes till I met Clive, which is where I got the real info.
That's correct.
So I guess 8.
Okay.
Man, what did Charlie do all day waiting for
He
Roz?
made Lucky Charms.
Yeah, I took the box with me. I'm currently walking around the streets with the box of Lucky Charms.
So you're just okay. So what is Henry doing through? He's working at.
He's doing his studies, and then after his study, his last class for the day ends at 4, and then 4 till about 8 or 9. He works at the local retirement home as a hospice nurse, where he is found like getting distracted and talking to all the residents about like their life stories and whatnot, and and when he comes home to his big studio apartment, that's when he gets the text from Roz. Or that's when he notices the text from Roz, because he doesn't answer his phone or answers text while he's working. That's very unprofessional. And that's Henry's all about that. And he looks out and he notices the text, and then he looks at the time, and it's kind of like he opens the door, throws his keys down, throws his bag down, throws his coat down. He gets all ready to just, go out onto his terrace and water his garden. And then he looks down and he notices the text, and he's like, gets his coat on, puts his bag on, grabs his keys, turns around, leaves the apartment. And then he like opens the door and he's like, I'm forgetting something. No. And then he leaves his wallet as he continues down to the Double R diner.
Good job, Roz.
Please. It's probably good. He paid for everything last time, so I got this one.
I have lots of money.
We're all pretty well off.
So, all right. So with Charlie walking around with some Lucky Charms, is there anything else that Charlie is doing during her day while she's eating her Lucky Charms?
Missing her new best friend.
Oh, apparently so, because...
Going shopping.
Do we need a shopping montage?
Get us matching shirts.
I'm going to get her us matching shirts and leather jackets.
Yes. Oh my God, they're going to be so cute. They're going to be so hip because she's young.
What about poor Henry?
I'll buy Henry a leather jacket too, but like in a male version, unless he wants the female version.
He looks good in female jackets.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll buy 3 female leather jackets.
He has a very slender physique.
Okay, so as you're all beginning to make your way towards the diner, Roz, you receive a text from Seth Anna. She says something important is going on at work. She's not going to be able to make it. She will touch base with you later to find out if there's anything that you guys need. But she is definitely not going to be available for a couple of hours.
All right, I text her back. Boo.
But then all of a sudden it's in a group text, so everyone gets the boo, and it's like, what?
Okay.
You need a patch. The doozy patch.
The doozy.
Okay. It's a
All right,
daisy. Don't worry about it.
So when you arrive at the Double R, it's not very busy. The dinner rush has ended. There are some various patrons kind of just loitering, hanging out, enjoying a meal or a drink or whatever. But for the most part, it's an empty diner.
Good. I love empty diners. Those are the best. I got a big, one of those big round corner booths, and I'm just waiting. Well, I'm constantly checking my phone is one thing, just like constant, like down, scrolling down, trying to get it to download new emails.
Okay.
And waiting. I'm not tired. I probably should be tired. We stayed out all night and then I worked all day. But Roz isn't tired. She is perky.
Okay, perky Roz.
Is there any other kind?
Next in walks Charlie. Charlie.
I walk up with like my 5 or 6 shopping bags. I set them down on the table.
I just realized I waved at you,
Yeah.
which doesn't help you.
Yeah, I know.
Damn it. Charlie, helping her follow.
I would just like look around like, oh, what? Is someone talking to me?
For some reason, immediately all I could think of was that scene from Daredevil where the assistant girl goes up to Matt and is like, "Would you take a look at this?" and holds up the newspaper, and Foggy's like, "You know he can't see that."
No, Roz actually needs to check her privilege. Charlie.
I just like slowly make my way over there.
Hey,
I went shopping.
Did you get anything fun?
Yeah, I'd like dump everything out on the table and like, I got matching jackets and matching shirts. And they're leather.
Us?
Yeah.
That is so nice. I immediately put it on because I love it.
She like realizes it's like a $600 jacket.
I do, and I would recognize that it's very nice. Do you?
It's fine. No.
Well, I'll get you something fun. Right, because we're meeting secret stuff.
Secrets.
Yeah, we're very subtle.
At which point I think Henry is walking in the door.
Henry is standing outside the door, and he notices both Charlie and Roz, and he still feels shame for what he did the night before, and it's kind of holding him back. He's kind of just contemplating whether or not he should go in there or if he should just, turn around and walk away. He slowly enters the diner, and he kind of just walks up, and he doesn't say anything. He just kind of slips into the booth and just kind of gives a wave.
We got jackets.
I'd slide one over to Henry.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, hey, and you've gotten my size. That's really nice. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you so much.
It's a women's cut, but I'm sure it'll fit you.
Oh, yeah. You'll look great.
Well, I used to get my hand-me-downs from my sister. Look at this. This is, perfect jacket. Perfect jacket indeed. Thank you so much.
That explains a lot about you.
Quick question. I have a quick question because it's the first time I've ever heard Henry mention this. Can you tell us a little bit about your sister?
She is like a Habitat for Humanity kind of person. Our mother was a straight-on hippie. Full-on hippie from a commune and whatnot. Left the commune to go with our dad, who's a big pharmaceutical representative, which is kind of weird because it's kind of like positive, negative, fire and ice kind of deal. Because she hates doctors, but loves him, but hates what he does to the medical stuff and whatnot. So where Henry wanted to be a doctor and then kind of get into somewhat the same area his father was, but he wants to bring the ideals of his mother into that, provide affordable healthcare to everyone. help everyone he can. His sister is a full-on, I'm going to save the world, one house, one village, etc. at a time.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just the first time you had ever dropped information about family, even in your backstory. So it was just like,
that's fine.
I was very curious about that. So, all right. So you have a new feminine jacket there, Henry?
Yeah, his jackets that he normally gets came from his sister, anyways. His mom didn't want to buy it. I don't know. It was like the kind of deal. It's like, I'm not going to buy another jacket. Just I'm going to buy her a new one. You get her old one.
Mm-hmm.
They were very androgynous jackets. It wasn't like very clear that it was a woman's jacket. It's a 80s jean jackets kind of deal. They look good on both.
Okay.
I think the main point is we all look amazing right now.
You do.
We do.
Yeah. I mean, we cut a figure in this empty diner.
Buttons are on the other side. Henry doesn't know that. Trent's like, buttons are on the other side. Yeah. Henry doesn't understand that. It's normal to him.
Okay, guys. I had I look around very obviously. I look around to make sure nobody's listening. It's pretty empty in here. Okay, so I had a very interesting meeting today. You know how Alexis got into
Who? Yeah, I heard you the first time.
Oh, great. She got into a car from Apollo, right? So I went to Apollo for an interview, and I found out some really interesting things, which I have written down in my mind palace. The guy who runs it cleared the record of the car that picked her up personally. Apparently he does it for friends. If there's going to be any trouble, he wanted to make sure that it wasn't tracked. But the head of the company did it himself. And the guy I talked to, his name was Clive. He used that phrase that Juggy used. Movers and shakers.
No, that's a common phrase used for anybody who, moves and...
Is it, Henry? Who do you hang out with that says movers and shakers a lot?
Well, there's Fritz, there's
we'll check him
Ms. Genevieve.
All right.
And he goes and he starts naming all of these patients over at the retirement home.
All right. Do you think that they were the people being referenced by the gang member that we talked to?
Oh, probably not. They don't do a lot of moving and shaking themselves. Most of them kind of just stay to their rooms.
Right. Hobble and so on. But I think this guy he's obviously involved with her disappearance, or, well, not her disappearance. But I talked to someone and may be able to set up a meeting with him at some point. I don't know when, though.
Wonderful. Well, it looks like you guys should go talk to Mr. Apollo about not being very clear with his books, deleting information and whatnot.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I worry only because, now I don't generally worry, but I worry because Juggy seemed afraid that this person was going to, come after him in the afterlife, whatever that means. So I think a light touch is going to have to be used if we're going to be open and direct with this guy.
He kind of looks at Roz like, what do you mean by that?
Like a gentle vine would touch you. instead of a strangle vine. Are you getting my drift? I'm not being subtle enough right now for the amount of subtlety we're probably going to need to use.
Yes.
Yeah.
He kind of like looks away embarrassed. I lost control. I lost my temper. Just brought back bad memories. And he kind of grabs the coffee and kind of like sips it.
Yeah.
So gentle, right? Would you rather me scale the building and find a way in, or would you like me to accompany you into the office right next to you?
Oh, there's so many fun options. You are very good at scaling buildings. It's really impressive.
I could probably get us up there pretty easy.
Huh, that would be interesting if the meeting goes and I go in asking questions and you guys are there just in case, he does something scary. Like Lily's friend Hans level scary, or more, or scarier would also be an option. Although it all depends if we want to wait for this meeting. I don't know when it's going to be. And I haven't heard back from Juggy yet about the other thing with Sables.
All right.
So that's where I'm at.
Well, okay. Henry kind of stands up. So shall we go to Apollo now, or later? What would work for everyone here? What's everyone's schedule like?
I'm free for the rest of the day, Don't got much going on.
Do you have a curfew?
Absolutely not.
Okay, great. No questions asked. We could. The only thing about this one is that it might be worth it to just ask openly and not have to do anything illegal. We could go talk to Kath, Detective Devereaux, about what we found out.
Judging by what happened last night, I'd rather stay away from the authorities.
Oh, because of your shoe?
Yes, I think that I would be implicated in something that I had nothing to do with, not directly.
Mm-hmm. Charlie, any thoughts? Any preference?
Probably maybe we should go talk to Kath and then go all together.
Yeah, I feel like sticking together in either instance is going to be a
way to survive.
Yeah, that.
I look at Roz. Well, if you really want to talk to Detective Devereaux, I could see if I can slip into the evidence holdings and see if I can find any incriminating evidence from last night.
That sounds so dangerous. I love it.
We're going to be borrowing it, right? We're not going to be stealing anything.
No, there's no reason to steal evidence. Evidence should be shared by all, especially us.
Of course.
That needs a name. I'll have to think about that. We need to have a brand.
The Fantastic Four.
I could use some work.
There's 3 of us right now.
Well, with Ms. Valanda, Ms. Satana returns, we will have 4. The Troublesome 3, the Thrifty 3.
We're definitely trouble. I like that.
Yeah, because I only bought 3 jackets.
Okay, well, it's good that Savannah's not here because she would be, if she noticed.
She'll never notice. They look totally not.
We'll never wear them on the same day, except that we will because we'll wear them every day.
For the rest of our lives.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Let's I'll see where Kath is. And I text Kath.
Shortly thereafter, you get a response.
See, somebody responds to me. In a
I respond
timely
every
manner.
time.
Thathana responded to you in a timely
I'm
fashion.
judging the other NPCs.
Well, maybe the other NPCs have more important agendas than your little, like,
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
And Henry hides his phone. Like, yeah, at least somebody responds.
So Kath responds and says that she is currently back at the library doing a little bit more investigation.
Great. See you soon. All right, she's at the library.
We could ask her to either meet her up at the station so we can collect some evidence, or we can go meet her. I will just continue an investigation of my own of the perimeter of the library. I don't think that being in the view of the authorities, especially since what happened last night, would be wise, but I will stick around if something goes hairy.
Yeah. All right.
So are you texting her back to let her know that you would prefer to meet her at the station for sharing is caring, or are you going to meet her at the library?
I mean, we could do both. Like, we could go to the library, see what else she's looking at, and then, like, go with her to the station. Could be a whole thing.
I think that's the perfect plan.
You are so supportive. You're like my most supportive friend.
Okay.
How do you feel, Henry?
If that is the case, then I will have to get a head start towards the station if you're going to ride with her back to the station.
Yeah, scope it out.
Okay.
Like this.
Well, probably. Very, very good scoping, Ms.
Thank you.
Rosalind. Very good. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, thank you. I got great reviews on my scoping.
Yes. Very, very nice.
Okay, so let me be clear so I understand what's going on. Roz and Charlie are going to be moving on to the library. Henry is going to separate and do a separate investigation, or are you going to the station house to...
Hey, I'm going to the station house to scope out. Hopefully by the time that, well, narratively, it will be, I notice them pull up, then I head around the back to in whatever it is, in take or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. So I just wanted to clarify that. So is this like go team break?
Yep.
Yeah, we do a whole thing, or I try to get a whole thing started. Put Charlie's hand on mine and then look at Henry like.
Henry kind of like looks and he's like, "Oh boy, I've only ever seen these in movies. These are great. So does that mean we're friends?"
Yeah.
Oh boy, I've always wanted friends. And he like kind of
Henry.
puts his hand.
That's
He's
so
like,
sad.
"This is great."
It is. We are friends.
I'm a friend.
Right.
And break.
Okay, so we're gonna follow Henry first to the police station.
Okay.
From what you understand based on what Roz would have told you is that Detective Catherine Devereaux is a detective out of the downtown district. So it would be a major police headquarters, a number of stories tall, like 3 to 5 kind of a thing. There would be a helicopter, helipad kind of a thing, huge underground. So expect, a primary, essentially, police department station.
Yeah.
Kind of a
Like
thing.
Central City kind of deal from The Flash or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, how do you want to approach this then?
So, are we just fast forwarding? I'm outside. The
Do you? Is there anything else that you want to do in preparation for this, or do you just want to show up there? That's entirely up to you. This is you're in the spotlight right now.
Would police headquarters like that be found in public records, like blueprints, or would that be a very private thing to?
Would it be public record? Yes, it would, but it is after. So the office for public records like that would be closed at this time. So you can do some breaking and entering. Or if you knew a guy by the name of Sal, I would recommend you call Sal, but you don't know Sal.
I feel like we'll do some breaking and entering into the public records office. So because without going inside, and Henry does not want to go inside because of if they ran footprints and prints on the shoe, pretty sure they already got the shoe back. They would probably have pulled it up in one way or another. So I feel like he would want to go get the blueprints to see what floor evidence is on before he goes duct crawling.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, because you just said something very interesting about the blueprints, and I'm going to have you do an investigation roll, because when you get to this particular point. But I'm going to ask a very leading question just so that you understand where I'm coming from when the roll comes up. Do you think that they would identify spots like that in the blueprints for a building?
Airflow, to make sure that airflow is and exhaust is escaping the building like properly. Sure, I would assume. Okay. Or they would at least indicate like what's on what floor, or what floor has been designated for what kind of deal.
I think that you definitely could figure that out from the plans based on some jump to conclusions or some even educated guesses, kind of a thing. So it's definitely going to be an investigation roll. But I wanted to put that in your head, because it's I don't think that architecture plans will kind of work that way. So we'll just get to that when we get there. All right, so you're making your way to the essentially the county record office then.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a classic older building dating back to the 1930s, early 30s, Art Deco, a style, something that you would see in Chicago or New York. In respect to its facade, it's an older structure, but it still is incredibly well maintained, and it's dark, except for the kind of the entrance. The building is probably 5 or 6 stories tall. It's not quite a large building in the sense of like a skyscraper. It's part of what I would call the historic part of downtown. But so there, you see that there's a double door entrance, and in the double door entrance is, it's lit a little bit, and you can see that there's a security guard sort of working behind there. But it's obvious that it's kind of locked down and shut down.
All right, so it's locked down. So the front door, is it a window? Like, is it like glass door kind of deal? Can I see into the building?
You sure can. It's so like a really nice Art Deco building. The door is part of the building in respect to its design and its facade, right? So it's not just a single couple of window panes. They're actually sort of like inlay and overlay, and the glass is kind of broken up to look in that very sort of stylized look. But you can see inside, absolutely, and you can see that the security guard is just kind of sitting back. There's something clearly like a television or something that's kind of playing in front of him, but he's clearly reading the newspaper.
Okay, so he's reading the newspaper. The door is locked. Let me think of how I can do this. They probably would have an alarm. Well, let's see. First we have to get the door open. And Henry is going to call a vine from inside the building, but he has to see where he's calling it from. So he is trying to call it behind the door to reach up, kind of slither up, and then like click the lock or the deadbolt to the door, basically. So he would unlock the door.
Okay.
That's step one.
All right. So is that a change the game or is that a sneak around?
That would be a sneak around because he's trying to do it in a sense where it doesn't make too much of a ruckus. So the security guard doesn't look up from his paper.
Okay. So just FYI for everybody that's watching, given the fact that Speedy is running the stream tonight, I didn't want to have to do anything switching between scenes and back and forth. So we're just going to talk about our roles as they happen in Roll20, and then we'll just we'll tell you what we got, what power tags apply and that kind of a thing, and we'll just let you know what the final roll is. All right. So what's working in your favor here is power tags.
Obstacles. From my expressions book. I think that's it. To be completely honest, ebb and flow. He knows that there's a lock on the back of the door. He doesn't have to be that attentive to the detail. It's not like he's trying to sneak around someone. He's just trying to unlock the door. So I think it's just going to be one power tag. And we're going to throw them bones, sneak around.
I don't see a weakness tag that actually applies either. Okay.
Miss.
All right. So you did miss. And not only did you miss, it means I get to throw a hard move at you.
Okay.
So, just to clarify what a hard move is again, for folks that are watching, it means that things get complicated or you don't get exactly what you need, or something really, really bad happens, or you can get a status, you can burn a tag, that kind of a thing. So in this particular case, Henry was going for subtlety, right? He was going for just something that would be really quiet and just, kind of slip up up the door and just kind of hit the latch. So that's what you were going for?
Yeah. Think of just like this little snake that slithers up the door, wraps around the latch, and like unlocks it.
So instead of it being just this sort of small kind of a thing, maybe there's something in the air, there's something about the presence, there's something about the building, but you overdo it, right? And so it's more than just a small, and it's this big branch that just kind of comes up and or this big vine that just kind of comes up and kind of wraps around. And you hear the ruffling of leaves on this vine as it's doing so, and it definitely attracts the attention of the noise, attracts the attention of the security guard as he kind of, closes his newspaper, kind of steps up and is kind of looking over at the door and kind of looking to try to figure out what's going on. Now, he doesn't actually see the vine, but he hears the rustling of the vine as it's trying to do what it's doing, as it's kind of fiddling with the lock, and then eventually you hear the lock click, and at the moment that you hear it click, the door begins to kind of open just a little bit, but he gets up at the same time and starts to move in your general direction.
Okay. Does he have a coffee mug? Can I see the coffee mug? If he does, can I see it? No.
So what you basically see is it's sort of like any other classically styled building, right? The information kiosk is this beautiful sort of either stone or wood paneled kind of deal, and it's pretty tall. You can see the glare of the television as it was playing on him, and you can see his newspaper, but you can see he was clearly sitting back, and everything is sort of hidden behind this desk, so you can't see his if he's got a coffee mug or whatever.
Okay. So he's getting up. I think Henry will try to tripwire him with a vine.
Okay.
Where like I kind of envision him having to open up like a little door to get out of his kiosk, and that's when Henry's going to like slip a vine to just kind of like tighten and trip him. Nothing to really hurt him, just to like make him fall over. So,
All right. So what is this though? Is this is this change the game? Is this going toe to toe?
I feel like it would be going toe to toe because if Henry has to open the door a little bit more, to send the vine over to trip him up. And it's very like whether or not he notices the door open and then looks down, notices the tripwire, or if he just keeps walking and trips. So it's me versus him. I guess that would be a good toe-to-toe.
Okay.
So that one's going to be obstacles, and that one's going to be ebb and flow because he's going to try to read the security guard's movements to see where would the perfect place to put the tripwire to be, as well as trying to time this all, perfect.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, there's no. So there is going to be. He has a. No, we're just going to go ahead and go with this at this point. Just go ahead and roll it.
Okay. Let's see. Mild success.
Okay, so going toe-to-toe with a mild success. Let's just make sure that... So you get to choose one of the three options that are available to you, right? You can manage to achieve your goal. You can get them good, which means you create a status tag on him with a particular tier as power, or you block damage or counter their best move, their best attempt. If you don't choose to do this, they can impose the status on you. So the way that you describe this, you can choose one of two options that seems like they'd apply immediately. You can manage to achieve your goal, which triggers, his ability, his trip, and he kind of falls down. Or you can call it a counter or a block and do that. And then you want to impose a status tag on you, and the status tag on you would be something to the effect of alerted, or exposed, like exposed tier 1 kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think I'm going to block his attempt, so he can't impose a status on me. So,
okay. Go ahead.
It's all just like to kind of make him trip, and then give me like maybe 4 or 5 seconds to kind of get into the building and maybe sidle up or around the kiosk kind of deal. So kind of roguelike sneaker video game style.
Well, sure, but he's already alerted that something's going on. And are you wearing shoes right now? Or are you being, how are you going to be, how in this situation would you be subtle then to get to that point? Because he's kind of alerted.
Okay, so let's see how roughly like how far away is the kiosk from the door?
Probably a good 50 feet.
Good 50 feet.
You
okay.
can definitely cover it in that distracted time.
I think he's going to really harness his inner Spider-Man. He's going to do that trick the Spider-Man does with the two webs, where he kind of slingshots himself up, up and over. So, just kind of slingshot him off the ground, so he's not making any ground noise. But if he isn't careful, he'll probably make some noise on the way back down.
Okay. So go ahead and roll change the game then.
Okay.
Or a sneak around. It really is up to you on this particular case. Again, I think change the game might be a much better option for you.
Yeah.
It's only because it gives you the juice to be able to play with, and I think that there are a couple of... I think there's a number of power tags that are in your favor right now.
Yeah, ebb and flow, obstacles, and then evasive footwork.
Absolutely.
Because I'm trying to stay out of his line of sight, as well as trying to not make any noise as I come back down.
Right.
So that's a great success.
All right. So 3 power tags with a great success. You get a minimum of 2 for the first power tag.
Mm-hmm.
It means you have a total of 4 to spend here.
Okay. Let's see. Inflict a tier 1 status.
Okay.
Let's see. On the guard.
Okay. He's already got it. So I didn't announce it to the stream before, or I didn't announce it at the table before. But he does have a a tripped status, temporary status of tier 1 right now.
Okay.
And that still got him down.
Oh,
So
right.
What do you want to add to that, or do you want to prolong that?
I'm going to prolong that.
Okay.
And then does he have a tier 1 status of alerted?
No, he does not. I was going to suggest that he did, but he still doesn't know what's going on. So no, he doesn't have one yet.
Okay. Let's see. So that was 1. So I have 3 more. Create, summon new objects. Hide the effect. I'm going to hide the effect. I'm going to muffle my my feet. I'm going to try to land on carpeting.
Okay.
If there is carpeting or some kind of cloth, so that if I landed on it, it wouldn't make that much of an impact noise. So that's going to be hide the effect.
Okay.
So 2. Inflict a status. I can bank the 2 juice, right?
You can bank the 2 juice, but in order to cover, so you can cover the distance and just cover your tracks with the 1 juice, or you can use the vine activity as you talked about, and that'll be a 3rd juice that you'll spend there.
Oh yeah, no, okay, so that'll be 3rd, and then I'll have 1 more juice, and I'm just going to bank that 1 juice.
Okay, so you're just going to bank 1. All right, that works.
Yeah.
All right, so you kind of do your vine thing and up and over, and the guy is the guard is kind of struggling, trying to figure out what's going on, and so you make it past him, right? And that he's still kind of struggling there as you kind of make your way in, and you see there's like a directory in front of you, and indicates that the records room that you would be interested in, city documents like that, or the building documents like that specifically for architecture, would be on the 4th floor.
Okay. Henry's going to take the stairs because the dinging of the elevator would be a little alerting. Ding! What? Maybe it was just the wind. So he's going to take the stairs. And so the door to the stairs, does it have one of those push lever?
No, it's a classic, kind of older thing. So you can just open the door. It has a handle. You would open the door and walk up, kind of a thing. Again, this is a 1930s, very early 30s kind of classic Art Deco kind of a building. So everything is very much in the style and tradition of what you would expect in that type of building. Very nice wooden, thick doors, kind of a thing. The lighting is that sort of elongated, sort of kind of vertical, shooting light up instead of down, kind of a thing, right? So those are the types of things that you're going to see in that. Let me see if I can find an example while you describe what you're going to do next.
Okay. He's going to go into the stairwell, and he is going to start. He's going to send up a vine to what he perceives to be the 4th floor landing, like the railing on there, and he's just going to pull himself up so he's not running up the stairs, because the stairs would be probably like concrete or wood or something, and they would cause a lot of noise in the hallway. He's trying to be as quiet as he can.
Okay. All right. Okay. We're just gonna. Yeah. So you go ahead and do that. It takes you a little bit of time, but you go ahead and do that. And now you find yourself on the 4th floor, and it's dark up there. I mean, it's quiet. It's not a big, it's not a huge deal, kind of a thing right now.
Yeah. I think he's going to just start investigating for the so in the 4th floor public records, is it just a bunch of file cabinets?
No, it's a bunch. It opens into a hallway, and there's a bunch of doorways. But the one that you're looking for is clearly marked as city. I think there's an actual word for it. It's like city planning.
City planning. Okay, so that door is locked.
That door is not, or yes, that door is locked. Sorry.
Okay. Is there a window into that room?
There is a frosted kind of window where it says city planning. Remember, again, think very noir. Very
Yeah,
kind of
yeah. Henry's going to try to do the vine trick again. Slip the vine up, try to unlock it from the other side of just kind of seeing the silhouette and the shadow of the doorknob on the other side.
Okay, do you want to use your juice to just go ahead and take care of that? Or
Yeah, I'm going to expend that juice.
Okay. So perfect. Let's call that.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of enter into the room, and now you find yourself in a very kind of, very common kind of, kind of vision of file cabinets kind of all over the place for building.
Yeah.
Or for this room.
Okay, and then he's going to start investigating to look for the blueprints for the police headquarters. And he's going to be using his medical student tag.
Okay.
He's had to do something similar to this, like with patients' files, looking for key terms in textbooks and whatnot. He's really good at skimming something and seeing if it's what he wants or what he needs. So.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and roll it?
All right. Investigate. And that's a great success.
Okay, so that is one clue for one question. However, I'm going to give you a lot of information based on the fact that it's a great success.
Okay. So I assume that I find the blueprints. Where do they have the evidence lockup slotted for on those blueprints?
So you spend a good deal of time, right? So you start flipping through, right? It's a big sheaf of rolled up blueprints, and so you grab it out of one of the racks. You walk over to essentially a table, and you kind of begin to roll them out, and you start flipping through, and you're kind of going back and forth. It doesn't take you very long because there are some obvious choices that were made. What you suspect is the evidence room, or a room big enough to be the evidence room, is actually on the first floor underground, so basement 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it is right next to the armory, because you can tell that it's the armory based. You can infer it because of the way that the walls were designed and how it was designed to be sort of a lockup kind of a thing. And one of the things that you do notice is that there is a ventilation shaft that runs from the rear of the building, or you see 2 paths that you can get into this. You can go in through the rear, where there's a ventilation shaft, and there's also another pathway from the roof that will lead you into essentially the underground. Both are going to require a little bit of being physical and finesse, but you have a clear idea of how to get in and out of there if you can navigate it correctly.
Okay. That's me. And after he gets that, he's going to try to open up one of the windows to the outside, and then just kind of vine his way up to the roof, and then head over to the police HQ.
Okay, so as you pop the window open, you notice that there's a number of squad cars that have started to pull up at the front of the building. And that's where we're going to cut over to Roz and Charlie. We're gonna give Henry a few minutes to figure out what he wants to do.
God.
Oh God. It's fine. We're just going to see my ex is super cash.
Super cash bringing.
Bringing cookies. Oh my God. We stop and we get cookies.
What kind
Well,
of
I'm getting some Lucky Charms.
Okay,
So
listen. So like actual New York and other places have insomnia cookies. So how about we do like Mr. Sandman cookies?
What are insomnia cookies, or what are Sandman cookies? Please explain this to us.
They're available 24/7.
Okay.
Delivered. They have very fancy things. Like they have the so they have the cookies, and they're stuffed with the you know, the frosting. And Kat loves those. She knows she shouldn't eat them. They're bad for her, but she loves them, and I make sure to pick up her favorite.
Okay. All right. So when you eventually arrive at the library after picking up some cookies, you notice that the library is still kind of closed off. Crime scene kind of a setup. There are a couple of squad cars that are parked out front, and one, essentially, not a plainclothes, or what do they call it? I can't think of the name of what they would call a detective car. Anyways, so there's 4 cars kind of out front, but it's obvious that they're still doing some sort of investigation. And then it looks like a CSI van kind of parked around the side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Library's closed. But yeah, there's one police officer who's just uniformed officer who's just kind of working the door to the library, and she's kind of looking forward and kind of leaning back, going whatever, as your taxi kind of, or your Apollo.
Yeah. Charlie. Okay, so there is one lady standing guard at the door. Do you think? I mean, what should we do? Should we just because now we've got our uniforms, so, we make plans and things like that, right? So should we just go up there and be like, hey, we're here with cookies? Because that's a good excuse, I think. Or should we try to sneak in, or should we cause a distraction?
Should I just knock her out?
I mean, you could do that and not hurt her.
Charlie goes around to the side where she the person on guard can't see her, and she's gonna try to climb up a little bit onto the building and drop down and knock her out.
And I will be walking up at the same time.
Okay.
To distract her.
Is this a change the game? Is this
yes.
Moving around? Is this take a risk?
I think it's change the game.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use change the game, and my tags I'm going to use are perfect short range target, outgoing agility, and martial arts.
Okay. Is there the possibility that this is you're exposing yourself or ignoring danger at all?
I might be ignoring danger a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I was just going to say that seems like the more appropriate, but yes. So let's go ahead and call it the power tags you illustrated plus that one weakness tag. So,
yeah. Okay.
And roll it.
Yes!
Yeah.
Great success. All right.
Yes.
RNG is in your favor again tonight, guys, for the most part. So let's start with the 3 juice, right? Because the first one gets you 2, and then you've got another juice, so that means 3 altogether. What do you want to do with that 3 juice?
Well, first I'm gonna knock her out.
Okay, so we're gonna call that a status tag of 2 disoriented.
And then I'm going to drag the body and put it in a dumpster.
Okay.
I gotta hide it.
Right. I was going to suggest hide the effect, but maybe just behind a bush.
No.
Hiding the effect could mean that you could slip in without, you could just basically kind of knock her and she's just kind of and falls to the ground, but she doesn't realize what happens to her. And you could hide the effect, and then you could still slip inside without having to dispose of the body.
I kind of want to put her in a dumpster.
You girl. I support you. I'm here for you. This was a great plan, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Okay, so I'll
and that's going to hide the effect.
Okay, so you're going to pull the body to a dumpster. All right. That's 2 juice. What's the third one that you want to do?
I'm watching with the cookies just
Yeah, you're just watching this like blind girl jump on this woman and then like drag her body off. And then I guess we're just gonna go inside.
You've got a third juice. Do you want to bank that juice?
Yeah, I'm gonna bank that juice.
All right.
All got juice in the bank.
All right. Well, so when you walk inside,
Yeah.
You enter into the hallway again. There's nobody there, right? It looks a little dark. You can see that they're all kind of working in the main library room that you were first in last night.
Shall we? I mean, do we want to observe quietly or do we just want to go talk to Kath?
I think we should just go talk to Kath.
Great. Love it.
Just give her your cookies, say you miss her and love her still.
Oh yeah. Let's just go talk to Kath and give her the cookies.
Isn't that...
I just have one question.
No, I have no answer.
No, I do. I do have one question. What was the point of knocking the one out at the front if you're just going to go up and expose yourself and talk to her anyway?
We didn't know that she'd let us in.
Yeah, exactly. This is like a sure way inside.
Trouble.
We're here to see Ms. Devereaux. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go see her.
Don't judge us. Go be over there. Don't judge us. I have to encourage Charlie's ideas. She needs encouragement in her development as a young woman. So, you.
Charlie, what do you want to do? I want to go beat the crap out of that guy. You go do it. You go do it. Go get her.
What did you do last night? Stop judging.
Yeah.
Shush, shush, shush. All right. All right, we're going in.
Okay.
Going up to Cat.
So as you
No wrong way to play the game.
I'm a rambunctious teenager.
Jesus. So you guys you walk into the large room and you see that they are actively the CSI individuals are actively working the crime scene and taking samples and kind of scraping and doing different things. And they're like on the ground and they've got essentially the uniformed officers kind of helping them get a look in the area for something. And you see Catherine just kind of standing back and observing and taking pictures and typing on her phone, and then she gets on a phone call as you're kind of walking in, and she kind of sees you as you're coming in the door, and she kind of waves and she just gives you hold on and then 1 second kind of thing.
Can we hear what she's saying?
You cannot hear what she's saying because she is talking in whispered tones.
Can Charlie hear what she's saying?
Does Charlie want to spend that juice? And
Charlie is totally going to listen in.
Charlie's going to spend that juice and change the game with this particular situation and listen in?
Yeah.
Okay. You hear it is a call between her and somebody by the name of Detective Roth, and they are exchanging notes in regards to what they know about the two cases that they are currently working, which are you will hear Detective Devereaux talk about Alexis, and you will hear you will hear Detective Devereaux talk about Alexis, and you will hear that he is, talking about Phoebe, right? And they're just to kind of, bringing up the speed, and there isn't a lot of movement on either side right now. They're not clear what's going on. They don't have any more information or leads at this point, and it's starting to get frustrating because they're about to hit the 24-hour mark. And most missing person cases become a nightmare after 72 hours. So it becomes incredibly difficult. So there's a fair amount of stress and anxiety about that particular thing because they don't want this to go beyond that time frame.
Cool. I'll hand off the cookies to Charlie for a second since she's on the phone and just what's everyone else looking at with my camera?
You see that they're just because it's incredibly obvious. You just see that they're down on the ground kind of looking, for something. They're looking for pieces of something, right? They're either collecting pieces of wood or pieces of, a table or whatever. It looks like more elements of the evidence. They're just doing more collection of the evidence.
Is the patch still there? The alley cat patch?
No, the alley cat patch is gone. Somebody got
Probably
busted for
lock
looking
up.
it up.
Okay, no, good. I was just making sure that somebody saw it. All right. When we were last in the library, I know we saw mostly the areas where Reggie and Carl were the ones who had gone opposite, but there was also a third, wasn't there?
All in the back left. The
Okay.
back left corner of the library. That's correct. And his body was, again, very different.
Right. Yeah, I think maybe Sathana said something about that. Okay. I mean, I will just, that seems like a good place to wander inconspicuously as I'm waiting for Kath to get off the phone.
You get about halfway there when she gets off the phone, and she kind of she walks over and she says, "So, what's up? You wanted to speak?"
Yeah. We brought your favorite though. Because you were here, it's getting late, and I was worried about you. Late night sugar. I know you love that.
Roz.
Yes. Cat. I don't want anything. I actually came to give you something. You're muted, Cat.
The last time you brought me cookies, there was trouble. What do you want?
There's absolutely no trouble. I can promise that.
She's very reliable.
I am very reliable.
She kind of looks down at Charlie. Okay. Miss Cox, do your parents know that you're at an active crime scene?
She is not a minor.
Exactly.
Do your parents know that you are in the company of...
My parents love Roz. Absolutely
they
love her.
Adore me. Everyone adores God.
They invited her over for dinner on Friday. Actually, they invited her to a fancy party my family is having on Friday.
And I'm really excited about it.
She's my +1.
Because we're best friends. This is okay. Kath,
Roz,
we just
when did you start choosing them so young?
Whoa. That is not what's happening here.
She's helping. I'm blind, and she's helping me out a lot.
I literally take a big step away. No, that is not what's happening here.
Can you, Miss Cox, can you excuse us for a second? And she kind of puts her arm around Roz and says, "Well, that's not really obvious. You seem to be hanging out with this young woman a lot. And I'm a little concerned about you. You keep showing up in my crime scene."
Charlie's gonna wander off and wander around the library looking for more clues.
It's not, it was happenstance the first time, but we wanted to make a statement about the last time we were here.
You have some information that you'd like to share?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I'll just have the officer come over and he can take your statement.
I'd really rather you did it, Kath. I'm not comfortable around, police.
Oh.
Except you. Look, we can make it really formal. We'll go down to the station and it'll be super formal, all above board.
Why the station? Why can't we do it here?
Because I'm not even supposed to be here, right?
Are you trying to convince her?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see this convince going on.
Oh Okay.
So, power tags.
Well, persuasive aura.
Okay.
What else could we use? I think maybe
Don't you also have a juice that you can?
I have 2 juice.
Yeah, you could
You
just.
could make it happen with one of those juice.
Oh. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, Kath.
She kind of looks at you and says, "Yeah, you're right. I've got to get my. All right, give me 5 minutes. Wait out there." And she points to the hallway outside. "Give me 5 minutes, and I will take you and Miss Cox, who I'm still a little concerned about you bringing here."
She's literally just my friend.
Okay, you say so. Now, what cookie did you bring me? And she reaches for one.
Okay, no, I got this one. It's got the ooey gooey, you know, the drizzle that you like, and it's got the frosting inside.
The last time you brought me one of the... I can't speak about that in front of Miss Cox. I'll meet you out in 5 minutes. And
It's
she
not,
grabs it and starts eating and moves away.
Charlie, the last time I brought her cookies is when we broke up. Probably should have thought of that before I chose the cookie.
And so we're going to cut back to Henry.
Okay.
Are the police looking up at me?
No, they are not. They are just pulling it up now and stepping out of the vehicle and moving into the building, moving towards the building.
Okay. Henry's going to wait for them, for majority of them to enter the building.
Okay. All right. And so you see them, you know, there's 3 cop cars that kind of pulled up, and they're banging on the door. The door opens, and then all 6 begin to flood in, and then they disappear from your sight.
Henry is going to he's going to go back to the door to the stairwell.
Okay.
And he's going to try to bar it with a couple vines, just kind of like a few. I'm trying to think of a word for it, like a length of vine, like a length of rope, but a few length of vines that like kind of wrap around the door handle and kind of pull taut. So if you try to pull it from the other end, it would give you some resistance. And he's gonna, so that's what he's gonna do first, you know, because I feel like the next one he's gonna try to create kind of like a bramble wall in front of the door to the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like those are going to be 2 separate roles because he has to divert his
they
attention.
could be 2 separate roles, and depending upon how you want to set those up, they can be, or you can just make it one change the game.
Okay, we'll do one change the game. That's going to be obstacles. That's it, because he doesn't need to have an eye for details. He's just kind of like hastily throwing these up to kind of impede them, slow down them as a group, so he can slip out the window and up the building.
Sure, it's not also including Briar Defense, because the way that you describe throwing it up in front of the elevator sounds like Briar Defense to me.
Okay, well, we could do that as well. Because it's a briar wall. You know, it's not like vines and stuff.
Sure.
So, all right, I will throw that as a change the game. Let's see that. That's going to be a mild success.
Excellent. So you're going to get 2 juice.
Okay.
Two juice
is just going to be to spend on creating the vines on the door and the vines in front of the elevator.
Okay, sounds great. So you do both of those, thus preventing any easy access. You know, the normal use of those access points onto the 4th floor.
All right, and then he's going to attempt to slip out the window and scale the side of the building with a vine to get to the roof.
Okay, so let's I don't think that would really be an issue for you. So I'm not going to have you do any type of roll.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to the top, though, you can see that there is essentially not an undercover. Can't think of the name of the vehicle, type of vehicle, but it's basically the not marked vehicles for cops, kind of pulling up as well.
Mm-hmm.
To the front, and you see two what looks like to be detectives, kind of getting out of that car.
So I'm going to be up on top of the roof. So I feel like Henry's going to put himself out there, and he's going to try to see if these detectives coming out of unmarked vehicles, that's going to catch his eye. He's going to these aren't beat cops or anything. So is there anything distinguishable about these?
No,
but
okay. They are definitely there. I mean, they're definitely detectives, right? They're wearing suits.
Okay. All right. If there's nothing that's going to catch his eye to keep him there to look at it, he's going to head towards the police HQ.
Okay. And so just generally, how are you going to get there? Are you going to be using vines to get across the city, or are you actually going to go back to ground level and maybe walk or catch an Apollo?
I got vines at my disposal. I'm going to be whipping. I'm vine fellow, man.
Okay.
So,
all right, right on. So we're going to cut back to the library as Roz and Charlie are enjoying cookies and waiting for Kath to come out, as which she does, and she's like, "You bring me a napkin. Where's a napkin?" You can see that there's a little bit of chocolate on her face.
Wait, I pull out like a Kleenex from my purse and I like dab it off of her.
Oh no!
And she kind of grabs it from you, and she's like, "We're not together anymore, Roz."
I'm just trying to help. You don't want to look messy.
Play, Roz. I know the games that you play. Let's go.
Wow. God.
And so she steps outside. She kind of looks around. Oh, she must have been off for a smoke or something. And she walks down towards the car. And she gets into the unmarked police vehicle. Unmarked, that's what I wanted. Unmarked police vehicle. She gets into the unmarked police vehicle, expecting both of you to get in on the other side.
Oh, I just realized we're also wearing matching jackets. She thought something was up.
Matching jackets.
This keeps getting better.
Not like there was any ill intent in matching jackets or anything, but
there's not. Why would couples wear matching jackets? It's terrible. Okay.
Anyways. Okay, so as the car begins to to kind of pull out into traffic and make your way towards the police station, she kind of looks over and says, "Okay, so what's this statement about? Why are we doing an official statement? Why can't you just tell me what's going on?"
Well, I thought you wanted to keep things really formal. I mean, you can't even wipe cookie crumbs off your mouth now without getting the 3rd degree.
Physical interaction with Roz is complicated.
Yeah, talking is physical. Your air moves over your vocal cords, so
I don't want to get into a game of semantics with you, Roz.
I love games, though, right? I love games.
And you see that she just kind of turns back and is brooding. Charlie, you're feeling the tension really, really bad as you can feel the heart rate increase in Roz.
I'm just sitting there like twiddling my thumbs, like.
And that it's the heart rate and blood pressure of Catherine Devereaux who is just skyrocketing.
I like your haircut, Kat.
I would lean out. I feel like they're in like the front seats and I'm sitting in the back just like, is this real?
All right, and so eventually she kind of pulls through the another 5 minutes go by as a silent sort of a silent kind of conversation a silent car ride, and she pulls into the garage and kind of takes you down, and it goes down about 2 stories as she kind of pulls into and parks in a parking spot where there was a number of other unmarked vehicles.
On the way, I would have texted Henry that we were en route from the library.
Okay.
Henry sends in like jarbled text speech. KK got blueprints. Cops be all up over their GGWP.
Please tell me it's to the group text. Though.
It is.
Yes.
Can I wait? I got a question here. Did you really think about that, or did you just come up with that off the top of your head?
I came up with it. I'm binding it right now. You're not supposed to text and Vine.
All right.
Come on.
Okay,
We broke it. Yay.
Jesus. All right. So
It was a team effort.
it always is a team effort with the two of you, or the three of you, or the four of you. With all the 12 of you, 12 players. God.
Are those
Anyways.
highlights, Kath? They look nice.
She notices you're texting, and you speak to her. You're kind of doing that. You working another story there?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anything related to my case?
Which case?
Don't play coy with me as she pulls into the parking garage.
I don't play coy. I just am coy. Well, I mean, you're investigating the murders or the disappearance. See, there are two cases.
Which murders are you speaking of?
The ones in the library. Which murders are you speaking of?
Murders or disappearances. Those are two different things. I just want.
That's why I differentiated them.
Clarifying with you. We're not going to do this right now in front of Miss Cox.
Man, you two are sassy.
Thank you.
Do I need to call your father and have him come pick you up at the downtown police precinct?
She is not a minor.
Are you putting me under arrest?
I could for being annoying.
I think my father would have a real problem with that, and probably talk to your boss, and then have you put on probation or something. Would you like that?
Your father is no longer the district attorney. He does not hold that kind of power.
Another text just came through.
just like alternating caps.
Just because he's no longer the district attorney does not mean he does not have that influence anymore. And when he gets elected for mayor, do you really think he's not going to have that influence over your police department? So, if you want to keep your job, I would be very nice to me. And then she gets back on her phone and starts texting in the group. I'd be like, Sathiana, you're really missing out right now.
We should go inside. We should probably all stop talking until we're inside.
Hold on a second. Charlie is texting?
Yeah.
So when you receive that first text,
it reads
of course,
oh no.
Group chat.
Yes.
Henry says.
No, I have an earpiece in. I have an earpiece in. And I got one of those old phones that has like the bumps, so like you can text. It has Braille. I got an earpiece in.
Good save.
Well played, child.
I know what I'm doing.
We could have fixed it. Let's go inside and not talk anymore.
And she pulls she pulls into a spot and she says, "All right, both of you stick close to me. Make sure that she doesn't get lost, Roz."
Okay. I instinctively go to hook both of their arms.
And she kind of, Kath just kind of pulls it, no, we're not doing this. And
You just said stick close. What do you want? I'm getting mixed signals. Got him.
All right, so she moves to the elevator, and out comes four, of course, uniformed police officers as they're heading off into a shift change. And you all step inside, and the elevator takes you up to the 3rd floor, which is where the Special Crimes Division is, along with homicide. Some of the bigger case areas. And she kind of walks you around and says, "Miss Cox, can I have you sit outside my office here real quick?" And she kind of halfway directs Charlie to sit in a chair. And Ross, can I speak to you for a second in here before we get started?
Uh-huh.
And she pulls you in and closes the door. And she says, "Really, what's going on here? What game are you playing?"
I don't even enjoy games. Nothing. We were at the library the other night, and we just thought that we should be forthcoming with the police about things that we may have noticed.
When have you ever been forthcoming in any of my investigations? I've seen you at a number of my crime scenes. I don't understand what you're doing there sometimes. Why you keep showing up in my life? We broke up. We're done. Why do you need to come back and insert yourself into my professional life?
I'm doing my job.
Why don't you work a different beat then? Or why don't you work another district?
Wow. Sour grapes. Okay. Well, maybe.
You broke up with me, remember?
Yeah, I'm very keenly aware. And now I think I remember why. Isn't that crazy?
Are we doing a statement? Because if we're going to do a statement, I'm going to take you into the room. I'm going to get the recording set up, and we'll do the statement. Is that okay with you?
I think I need to confer with my associate.
All right. Well, she's outside. When you want to come back in, just knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to
drop the rest of the cookie box on her desk. And I walk outside.
And the door, you slam the door as you walk out.
Yes, I do.
And we're going to cut to Henry. Where is Henry in relation to the roof or the police HQ?
Henry is on the building right next to the police HQ, where he could clearly see the access vent, which was indicated on the blueprints.
Okay.
And he's going to go through that route, which is where he's going to enter in through there to go straight down to the basement kind of deal. He's going to do so by sending some vines. Surprise, Vine fellow using vines. He's going to send vines, and he's going to try to do these. Does the grating have screws or bolts on it?
Screws or bolts? They would be bolted down, and it would be bolts from the inside.
Bolts from the inside, so there's no nuts on the outside?
No, everything is kind of bolted and designed to be really secure.
Okay. He is going to send some vines down to wrap around the grating and try to jimmy it off. Not like pull it off, but he's going to take some time to like shake it loose, you know?
Okay.
So that would be change the game, obstacles, briar weapon, because I'm trying to wrap it around the grates and use a little bit of strength, but not like a lot.
Okay.
And that's it. Obstacles, briar weapon, and then change the game.
Okay.
Mild success.
All right. So mild success means that you, with 2 power tags, you've got 2 juice to spend, and you get essentially the top 3 elements of the change the game, which is create a story tag, burn a power tag, or story tag, give or reduce a status. So I assume that you're going to start with creating a story tag to open the grate.
Yes.
Okay. So what else do you want to do on top of that?
I would like to use a story tag as I enter the duct to replace the grate.
Okay.
If that was
with the bolts?
No, because I'm going to be going out the same way. I'm trying to get it to where at like first glance it looks like there's nothing wrong with it. But if someone were to go over and like tap it, it would fall right off.
Okay.
So it's just he's trying to make it appear like nothing's wrong because he still needs to leave through that exit.
Okay. Great.
So
that's no problem.
Okay, and that would be the two juices right there. One to remove it, and then one to put it back after I'm inside. So,
all right. So once you find yourself inside, you have, because you rolled that great success. In that, give me a second. I have to cough. So as you rolled that great success, when you found you investigated and you found the floor plans, you found a really easy, or not easy, but you found a very clear route that you would take through the ventilation system to get to the bottom floor, or sorry, to sublevel 1 or the basement floor 1. It does take you a little bit of time and requires, a fair bit of finagling, but I think this is one of those situations where it's probably a combination of his physical ability and his comfort with using vines, and the fact that he would probably take some time rather than rush this. That I'm not going to have you roll, because it's one of those like sort of taking 20 kind of a situation. So you make your way sort of through the grading system, and you go down the 5 stories, and then the additional story into the ventilation into the basement. And, and that there is at least 4 levels below. There's the first sublevel, which is where you're interested in going. There's the second level, which is where the parking garage is, and then there are 2 more levels of actual parking garage for other vehicles. So when you kind of get down there, you find yourself at the grate for the evidence room, and it's quite a large room, and there's a number of ventilation shafts, or there's ventilation ducts that kind of lead into this, this particular room, right? Or branching off of the main duct that you're currently in. How do you want to approach assaulting this or entering into this?
So the grate leads me right into the evidence lockup, or is it just outside the evidence lockup?
It leads you right into the evidence lockup.
Okay, so Henry will kind of pull out his phone, and he'll flip the camera on and kind of stick it through the grating kind of deal, to see if he can notice any security cameras, because I feel like there would be security cameras all up in this.
So this is definitely a situation where it's a mesh, and not just like, there's not like a lot of open grate. It's actually like a mesh kind of a thing. It's a much tighter kind of weave.
Okay, so he would just try to attempt to move it without making a lot of noise and not try to drop it right out into the middle of the room.
Okay.
Is there a...
Well, hold on a second. So again, it's kind of it is bolted from pretty much the kind of the same way as before, right? The way that the bolts are set up, it's designed to be really kind of not easy to undo and then gain access to. So this is going to require another either change the game or sneaking around or something like that.
Okay, let's do change the game. So it's bolted from opposite end of me. So he's going to try to weave some vines up over to the bolts, and he's going to try to turn the screws or the bolts with the vines. Just kind of, just really slowly and whatnot.
All right.
So I think obstacles is the only tag that I can throw at that.
Well, you used
because Briar Weapon was to wrap it around the bars of the grate and then kind of like pull and jimmy loose. Where this is more delicate kind of deal. This is more, I'm going to take my time to slowly untwist each screw and try not to make a big ruckus. And I'm trying to make sure that I do so in a way that if cameras passed over it, they wouldn't obviously see something's happening.
Okay.
So I don't feel like it's like a weapon as in it's kind of slightly aggressive. It's more finesse, you know?
Okay.
So that's why I'm thinking it's only obstacles because I'm creating the vines.
Okay.
And then that's the great success with an 11.
All right. So with great success, you get your, of course, the 2, for the first power, you get 2 minimum because it's a great success. So you get the full, breadth of what's available. What do you want to do?
You're going
to open it up, and what else?
He's going to kind of poke his phone out like I was describing before, and he's going to try to make note of the security cameras.
You can see that there are plenty of them.
Are they on motorized swivel heads? Are they panning the room?
They are not panning the room. When you are able to get a real good look at the room, it is a series of rows of like essentially shelving and drawers and that kind of a thing, stacked floor to ceiling, and there are some boxes sort of off to the side. Each row appears to have a camera pointing right down it, and each intersection appears to have a camera kind of going in that sort of 90-degree angle of that intersection. So at the ends, you're seeing you've got cameras kind of pointing basically in every conceivable direction, but they are not panning.
Okay. He's going to try to spend a juice to offset. How many cameras can I get with 1 juice if I want to offset them to push their view slightly up? Like, so if they're pointed like this, he's going to move them slightly up, slightly level kind of deal. So he has more of a blind spot if he stays kind of closer towards the camera.
Okay, so can you describe me a way that would apply to more than one to get the effect that you're looking for? Because it sounds like the ultimate effect that you want to get with 1 juice to spend on this is you want to affect as many cameras as possible. Now, if you can give me a good argument, or you can give me a good narrative description, I think that's how we'll determine how much larger like the effect is in this respect.
Okay, actually, I can spend a juice to create. So he's going to create a vine, and we could do it a separate roll to do another change to the game to see if I can scale up that vine to slither around, basically slithering around the room, kind of deal along the edge of the room, and any camera, the tip of the vine kind of like goes over towards the head of the lens, and he kind of like taps it up so it just kind of levels off, kind of deal.
Okay. So why don't we have you do, what is that going to be, a sneak around?
Yeah. So he creates the vine with his last juice, and then he's going to, we can do a sneak around check as well.
Wait, so you're using the juice to kind of wrap around and do that, and then you're gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna. We could do sneak around to do the physical tapping up the cameras, and that's just going to be obstacles and ebb and flow, because I'm trying to do so where the cameras don't notice the vine.
Okay, that sounds good.
Miss. Okay.
Ooh. Okay. So that means a hard move.
Mm-hmm.
What do I want? What do I want to happen here? How do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? All right. So when Henry is kind of pulling himself along the vine and just kind of moving around through the trying to move towards the camera to tap them up. Is it like he's just basically kind of climbing hand over hand and just kind of walking, and moving to that, or is he trying to be more, elaborate about his action?
it's more like the vine is an extension of himself. The vine is slithering, and then when it comes to a camera, the vine taps it up.
Okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you were talking
No,
about.
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. But if a hard move would he's leaving himself very vulnerable because he has to have all of his focus on this vine.
Okay. So what I'm saying then is I thought it was going to expose you physically. But that's given that description that I misinterpreted or I misheard. The hard move against you is that the circumstance changes, and for that particular grate, that particular duct exit point, essentially, the camera actually gets flipped up and is pointed directly at. It's obvious that it's getting pointed directly at that space that you just made open.
Okay.
So that space is now exposed where you were doing that.
Okay. Henry kind of curses under his breath. And he's going to pause, and then he's going to kind of like he did with Hans, where he kind of created like this kind of briar armor around his body and around his legs kind of deal. He's going to do so around his face to make like some sort of like a makeshift mask as he slips in. He's going to be noticed anyways, but as long as they can't see his face.
I'm just so because you're Vine Fellow, and I was just going to assume that what happens is this cowl just kind of comes up over you, like almost like an archer kind of a thing. But you've got like a like this wooded point, and then this like the vines also come up like this. So all you see is just like his face.
I think I put a concept art in there, which was basically the Warhammer Fantasy Treeman kind of deal.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. All right.
And because of because people can't, normal people can't see it. Henry has stag antlers. So they would be covered by the vines as well. So they would be, the mask would have that shape as well.
Okay.
So Henry kind of just slips in, and he tries to stay as low as he can.
You gotta roll this for me though.
Yeah.
Just you're gonna change the game, or is this gonna be a sneak around?
This is gonna be sneak around because he is physically sneaking into the room.
Okay.
Which is going to be ebb and flow and evasive footwork.
Okay.
And that's a mild success.
All right, excellent. So you do so, right? You kind of begin to create this thing, and you slip in down there. Okay, so now you're inside. This is a situation where sneak around. There is a consequence that's going to come up. It's going to come into play. It's not going to come into play immediately, but it will come into play for you in this circumstance. But so go ahead and continue to describe how you're going to approach this.
All right. He kind of sneaks in. He knows that one camera is going to catch him, but he's going to try to remain as low as he can. So the other cameras, I'm going to try to stay in their blind spot. While I search the room for anything that's tagged with last night's date.
Okay. So is this an investigate?
Yes.
Or is this
okay, what's the other one?
The game.
Change the game.
Now here's why I'm suggesting that it might be a change the game. There are two actions that you're describing here. You're trying to sneak around, and you're trying to find the thing that you're trying to find some element of what you're looking for, right? You're trying to find something dated for last night. I would say that it's two actions immediately, and say that it's sneak around and then change or investigate. But with change the game, you can do both in the same, essentially the same kind of move, right?
Okay.
So it's really on you as to how you wanna portray this. And the intent is that with the 2 moves, it's a very clear, this is what I'm going to do. With Change the Game, it's going to give you an opportunity um, to facilitate, either your role or the next role, and just kind of set up the scenario for you to have much more success, by having the ability to potentially spend juice. So it's really up to you. I'm just giving you those options.
Yeah, we can do Change the Game. That way we kind of keep it all in like a compact roll and keep the flow going kind of deal. So yeah, no, Change the Game sounds great. And then we can set it up like that. It's going to be the same power tags, ebb and flow and evasive footwork, because he's not using any of his vines.
All right,
to
sounds
do
good.
this. Mild success.
All right, so that's 2 juice.
2 juice. Can I inflict a status on the cameras of unaware?
How are they going to be unaware if you're sneaking around and you're not affecting them in any way?
Like I'm trying to think of, like, I'm staying in their blind spots, but I'm also trying to find the evidence. But I feel like the evidence would be in one of their blind spots, would not be in one of their blind spots, kind of deal.
Right.
So
the difficulty is that they're pointed in a way so that they're down each hall, right? Like they're down each, kind of, they're each row. So it's obvious that there is going to be difficult to navigate through those blind spots, because they're obviously just kind of, they're designed, they're placed in such a way to gain as much visibility as possible. That's why I'm trying to understand how they would be unaware of you, or how the power tag, or sorry, how the juice is going to work so that they're unaware of you taking some action.
I'm just trying to think of, let's see. Are they staggered, or is it one wall full of cameras going down each row?
They're staggered.
Okay, so they are staggered.
Yes.
So the way that I think of this is that to move from row to row, one camera will always catch sight of Henry. But he will try to stay in. So like there's one camera here, and then there's 2 cameras here. He's going to try to stay in the blind spot of these cameras right here. So he's going to like be like that scene from Jurassic Park where the kid's behind the kind of, I guess, countertop when the velociraptors are kind of panning through. So he's going from there, and he's going to try to jump to the next row and then kind of peek down. And what he's looking for is his shoe, because wherever his shoe is going to give him a clear indication of where any evidence from last night is logged or tagged at. Okay. So one of the juices, could the status be apparent on the shoe instead of aware on the cameras? Could it be very apparent where the shoe is, because I would know my own shoe, or something like that, something to the degree of, hey, I see that's my shoe, I can infer that that's where last night's evidence is.
Yes. So here's how this is going to play. All right. So you get the status tag of unaware because of how you move through, just based on your description, right? That's the story tag, right? That story tag applies, and it's temporary, so it's not going to last forever, right? So, but you move through and you start to get to that, and you realize, based on your placement in the room, that it's obvious where stuff that new stuff is going to be. It's going to be towards the front of this area, which is where the entrance is. And so it's obvious, and you see your shoes, or you see your shoe kind of bagged in a bag there on a shelf that is clearly just a temporary organizational structure. But you also notice, and this is where the consequence comes in, that there is somebody that is working, and the entrance area, or the entrance to this place is actually just like sort of a gated sort of like counter.
Mm-hmm.
And there are somebody working there right now, working with somebody else who is checking in more evidence.
All right. I feel like Henry is going to try to wait out this encounter.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that happen in the background, and we're going to cut to Roz and Charlie.
Roz storms out of the door to Kat's office, cookieless.
Those poor cookies.
Hey!
How was that talk?
Oh, just like it always is. Just really great.
How great.
So great.
Say it one more time and I'll believe you.
So great.
Okay.
So great that I just had a really, really terrible idea.
And that would be?
Oh, publicly scooping my ex-girlfriend.
Yes, let's do it. She was very rude to me in the car.
Yeah, I think that's a good enough reason, right?
Yeah.
Well, I had most of the story already written up, and I guess I can just fill in the blank spots with pictures, rather. She makes me angry sometimes.
She has made me very angry today.
I saw that. You were very...
I could get her fired at any point, but that's just me.
I don't want to get her fired. I just want to,
Yeah, that's why I'm saying let's
embarrass her like a little.
Publicly embarrass her.
Just a little, though.
All the way.
Yeah.
All the way. I'll be embarrassed.
I mean, I guess we should wait in case anything goes bad, but I can work remotely. Maybe we can go to like a waiting room. Do they have waiting rooms here? I feel like they have waiting rooms.
I feel like they have like a conference room.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna try to find a place to sit.
You're sitting outside of her office.
Oh, well.
We'll sit here for a minute.
Yeah, we'll sit here for a minute, and I pull out my little, what are they called? Tablet with the little keypad on it. And I start finishing my story.
I'm going to do an investigate and listen around the police department and listen to hear anything from like our current investigation.
Ooh, hear if you hear anything about Daryl Roth too.
Yeah.
All
of that.
Derek. Whatever his name was. Detective Roth.
Detective Derek Roth, that is correct.
I don't know him.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to use Senses to Finest Details, filters out noise. Yeah, those two.
Okay. And I don't think any of your...
No, because no one's going to be like, oh no, there's no day.
Sitting listening quietly.
Well, I could suggest, or I could say that exposed actually kind of applies, because you are the daughter of the, top candidate for, the mayoral race for the city. However, you are currently parked, outside of a, lead detective.
But everybody knows Charlie's always getting into weird stuff. This is not the first time she's been in the police department.
Okay. All right. Well.
All right.
If that's your argument, then okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll it. 13.
Oh no.
Many clues as your power. So I
rolled with 2 power.
So
you got 2 clues. So that means you get to ask me 2 questions.
I'm going to open it up to the table to figure out what I need to ask.
I guess, do we want to know, if we hear anybody talking about the latest news concerning the Dairy sisters? What's the break-in?
Yeah, what's the newest news about the Dairy sisters?
That we don't, yeah.
that we don't know.
Yeah.
That you don't know.
Yeah. Any of them, really.
Okay, so in this time frame,
Right, because it's night 2.
it is night 2.
Whoops.
Same.
You do hear something to the effect that Megan Dere, the youngest of the 3 who disappeared from Xanadu, being quite the socialite she is, was always or mostly in the company of one Trisha Bjorn, and Trisha Bjorn has also not been seen for a couple of days, and that attempts to reach Trisha have proved fruitless because she is not returning phone calls. She's not available. They have not been able to question her at all.
Is Trisha also from a influential family?
He's okay. All right. So this would be sort of common knowledge. Yes, she is the sister of Harold Bjorn, who is the current CEO of Aesir Industries.
All right. And second question.
Yes. You can open it up to the table again. If you
Yeah,
need.
it is open to the table.
What do we want to know? So we know about the Bjorn sister.
Yeah.
Like the Bjorn identity.
That wasn't funny.
What? Then why did you laugh?
I forgot to laugh.
I mean,
I hate you.
so we know that.
Maybe ask about the cop, Derek, like what his deal is, or I don't know.
Do you want to? Okay, so you're listening in. You're trying to hear ambient information coming in about. You're coming in from essentially the floor that you're on, right?
Yeah.
So you just got a piece of information from the case that you heard that you didn't know before, right? So that's a new piece of information.
Yeah.
What is your question about Derek? Like how would you? I mean, what are you listening for? In respect to kind of pick up about Derek, or sorry, Detective Roth, as you guys would know him. Only Morgan calls him Derek.
Yeah.
But did Roz ever date Detective Roth?
I thought we went over that last time.
I don't remember. I'm just being funny.
I mean, I'm not sure if we just want to keep finding as much information about the Darius as possible, if we want to try to listen in for.
So that's so I would have given you all the information based on the Dairy case that would have been known at that point for the company.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you have. Because remember the earlier conversation that was going on between her and Detective Roth at the crime scene at the library. They were frustrated because they weren't getting more leads than they felt that they were beginning to lose.
What do they think maybe about the Metacorex paraphernalia that was left around the crime scene?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good question.
Like, do they have any theories about that? Have they found out any info?
Okay, so this is based on what you're hearing around you?
Yeah.
Again, I would say that this is a piece of information that you would have picked up on had it applied to the crime that you were currently talking about, which is right. So no information.
Okay, so they're lumping all that together still.
I'm lumping all that information together.
Okay.
From a mechanical perspective, and giving you an opportunity to listen to find another clue, another question that you want to get answered. Maybe it's something more environmental. Maybe it's something about a particular cop or a particular, tangential crime or that kind of a thing. They don't have any more information for you on the Derry case right now as you're listening in. Now, if you're actively seeking out, that might be a different story.
Do you hear anything about Henry breaking into the public office?
Right. The next thing was going to be like the shoe, but yeah, if anything.
Or the shoe, yeah.
Anything about either a break-in at the public office or, Henry's shoe in.
Do not hear anything about that.
Okay, good.
Good.
And that was your second clue?
Yes.
Okay. I would have, just so you know, I would have suggested that you listen in for Derek, because he actually is in the office at that point.
Well,
don't you have 3? Because you used 3?
No, I used 2.
Okay.
You too.
Oh, well.
Again, no wrong way to do this.
There's no wrong way to do this at all.
I mean, I could just listen in general.
I gave you guys hints, though, and I was just...
No, we got them. It's just...
You just ignored them because I'm such a bad
corrections.
I get it.
I was caring about Henry, so making sure he's okay.
We don't know about the other shit.
Henry's hanging out downstairs. He's fine.
Okay, well,
I don't know that.
Again, we have no idea. So I am. Do you share that with me, Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like awkwardly like whispering in your ear as Catherine walks out.
No.
Oh, Charlie, stop.
You're terrible.
And kind of whisper in as she catches Roz's face with a little bit of surprise. Are we going to have this conversation, or are you going to flirt with your not girlfriend?
Okay, you must have really forgotten what flirting looks like, which doesn't surprise me, because you were never very good at it.
Damn.
I don't know. I need to think. My blood sugar's low because I left you the cookies. So
we did not have one cookie.
You want them? And she walks back. Here, cookies. She slams the door and says, "I'm going to put you guys back downstairs in the waiting area if you don't want to have this supposed conversation, this supposed statement that you were going to make. I've got the room ready to go now. Are you going to give me a statement, or are you leaving? And have you wasted my time for the last?" Looks at her watch for the last half hour.
It's a really good question. Sorry, do what? Wait. I'm ignoring John. I'm stalling for time. I just need a minute to think about it.
Roz, this is not going to work. You're going to need to leave now. I'm going to have you go downstairs. Unless you're going to make your statement right now, where I've got it prepared.
The only statement I have to make to you is that you should definitely check out the front page of Pendragon tomorrow.
Are you withholding information from me, Roz?
No.
Obstruction.
Are you obstructing justice, Roz?
No. It's going to be a really...
Are you intentionally withholding information that applies to one of my cases?
No.
Then why would I be reading information on the Pendragon website?
It's just a really good story I've been working on. I thought you would like it.
I'm going to ask you a very clear question again before I put you in handcuffs.
Listen, cop lady.
Do you have any information pertaining to my cases, Miss Rosalind Percival, or do I need to have you put into a holding cell until you are willing to answer the question?
Are you harassing a blind girl and her friend right now? Do I need to call your boss? I will. I'll call my dad right now. Do you know what he would say?
Miss Cox, you are welcome to leave since it's clear that you are only here to cause trouble.
I would never cause trouble.
Put you in a squad car and take you back home to your father, who I will then have a conversation with to make sure that he has a conversation with you when you get there.
Once
Now-
again, not a minor.
If you lay a hand on me, I will consider it harassment on a blind girl.
You
Think
are
about
welcome.
all the cop brutality that happens. And I am a little blind girl.
She's so defenseless.
Look at me. I could fall over if the wind blew wrong.
Officer Peterson.
Kat, stop it. I was just upset.
You are obstructing justice,
I'm
Ross.
not. I'm not.
Then what is going on? What am I supposed to read tomorrow, Rosalind?
This is a story I'm working on.
This is
Lawrence. Okay, please don't mock me.
I'm sorry. I was okay. I just thought it was funny.
Roz is not smiling. Lauren is.
Bullshit.
Lauren is
She's
smiling.
enjoying every moment of this. Roz is totally enjoying every moment of this.
How dare you cast such aspersions? It was just a story. It was a story about this place we used to go to back when we were together, and I thought you would enjoy reading it.
Convince her.
Can I use my last juice?
No.
What's bullshit?
No, not in this case. This is a total fucking convince. She's got your number. So
Okay,
you need to
fine.
change her agenda.
Okay. Persuasive aura. I'm gonna say luck.
Persuasive aura, luck, and anything else?
Can I help?
Survival instinct. because I feel like I'm about to drown, Johnny. I will do anything to get out of here.
Hold on just a sec. This is definitely going to be one of those situations where survival instinct might apply, but I'm going to invoke a weakness tag.
Oh, I would have invoked it myself. Which one?
Thrall.
Yeah.
Clearly combining her personal feelings with her professional feelings here.
No shit. Okay.
You got
So
this.
roll your convince with 2.
Yeah. Oh, just made it.
Just me.
Just barely made it is
Oh.
correct. So on a 7 and 9, so you're gonna convince her with a relevant status tag tier to power. So tier 2, what's the status tag?
Maybe it's like, what do we think? We think like embarrassed that she was making a scene kind of deal.
It's gonna be really hard to embarrass a cop.
Well, Kath isn't just a cop.
I'm sorry, Kath is not what? I'm sorry, can you say it again?
Nothing. No, I'm
No,
muttering.
please
Leave me
share with us.
alone. No,
Stop mumbling on your
I'll do what I want.
Oh, you do it. Oh, I'm sorry. You do what you want. Okay.
I mean,
Well, it's just whatever.
we can invoke a status tag of like getting her almost in trouble.
That's not a bad one.
If someone, yeah, especially if somebody knows.
Knows
Me. Well, like if someone knows me and sees,
Yeah, knows that
like,
Kath makes things personal when she shouldn't.
yeah, and sees that she's harassing kind of me and Roz, and put a status tag of like,
Reprimanded?
Yeah, like reprimanded.
Okay, reprimanded. Although Sam's got a really good suggestion in chat, which is also blackmailed.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
All right, so she's going to take a status tag of blackmailed too, right? Is that what we're saying, or is she?
I
Or
mean,
would
I
it-
think that's getting the effect that we're going for.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's going to be temporary, but in this particular situation, so tell me how that works, though. What do you say to her? I mean, because you just said that you just gave her, a bit of information about convincing her that it's not about the case and about this little place that the two of you used to go to. So what happened there, or wouldn't she want revealed about her personal life?
Ooh. Ooh, I think I got her into trouble. I think we did something maybe not like illegal, but certainly verging on it.
Something a
Working
cop
on
wouldn't be
what?
allowed to do.
Fooling around in the evidence room.
Yeah, some version of, I mean, public indecency.
Or even public indecency, or like her back in the day sharing information with you on cases. Like you used to go to a cafe and like discuss cases.
Yeah, discuss like I was talking about like the stories I was working on, and she was talking about cases, and
like you would take the information from the cases, which is
it
kind of illegal for
Were these ongoing cases?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, I mean, past cases, she can talk about them until the
Well,
cows come
yeah,
home.
yeah.
No, like ongoing
yeah.
cases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
I just mentioned the name of the cafe.
and she goes cold and white. And she looks at you. How dare you? You need to leave now.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
Take your little friend Miss Cox here and her little sassy behavior and leave now. I don't.
Yep. Nope.
Roz,
Yep. Already
I don't wanna
moving.
see you. I don't want to see you again.
Cool. Come on, Charlie.
Just like walks out the door. Oh, I would have my walking stick, and as I'm trying to like make like my way, I'd hit in the ankle and then keep going.
And she takes it kind of. Get out.
Definitely not laughing in character.
I'd be laughing in character. Under my
And
breath,
so
though.
both of you exit the special crimes area into sort of a long, sort of open hallway that also has the stairway, and there's an elevator off to the side. And as you do that, you pass Detective Derek Roth kind of walking inside in there as the door closes. And we're going to cut back to Henry.
Henry's all alone. They weren't doing what they were supposed to do. They got thrown out. Oh man.
We walked out.
So these two people,
I
guess the person who's in charge of the evidence room and this guy logging evidence. I'm waiting for that encounter or that exchange to end. One of them to leave, and obviously one of them is going to stay because he's supposed to. It's his job.
Right. So the conversation actually goes on for a good deal of time because there's a number of pieces of evidence that are coming in, right? And they're just kind of recording and cataloging, entering into the computer, kind of writing some paperwork to go with them as they're being weighted, and he's handing a couple of things, across through the window.
Do I have the vantage to at least catch a glimpse of what he's handing in?
No, you do not, because
Okay.
it would expose you to the camera and to
Okay.
So in waiting it out, it like I said, it takes about 20 minutes, and finally that person's like, okay, and the officer just kind of moves off to the side, and kind of down the hallway, and the person who's working in the evidence room just kind of starts to place things on the racks behind them, and then there's a phone call that comes in, and the person kind of walks off to the side, so leaving that space kind of open, but it is exposed.
It is
exposed to anybody
exposed.
kind of walked that direction, and it would also be a little exposed into the cameras.
Huh. God, I'm just trying to do this as sneaky as possible, but I don't think I have anything in my arsenal that allows me to be super sneaky. Well, I mean, I guess no, because if I pull them with the vines, the cameras will catch it. I'm going to take the cameras offline.
How are you going to do that?
So, how many cameras are pointed in the area of the new evidence that I want to get to, and the evidence that I want to get to?
There would be 2 cameras.
There would be 2 cameras. Which one's closest? One of them close to me?
Yes.
Okay, so he's going to send a vine up there, and he's going to, because I assume they're on some kind of arm that lets them extend them from the wall. He's going to try to break that arm off from the wall, just kind of tug at it, and then try to place the camera down on top of like whatever shelf that it's above right now, you know.
Okay.
And that he's going to do it once to the other one, and then he's going to try to do it to the far side one. But the far side one is going to put him a little bit exposed because he has to actually turn and look at it.
Okay, this totally sounds like a change of the game.
Yeah, it's totally the change the game. Ebb and flow. Evasive footwork, no, because I'm not moving. Briar weapon, because I'm physically pulling them out from the wall.
Okay.
And obstacles to make the vine. And let's throw them bones. Risk it for biscuit. Great success. I have
4 juice.
I have 4 juice. 2 of which to remove the cameras. Yep, from the wall. 1 to hide. 2 to hide each effect.
So I will grant you that you can hide the effect with just 1, so that gives you 1 additional juice.
All right. And is the guy's talking on the phone? Is he faced anywhere where I need to go?
No, he's faced away from you, and he's kind of writing on a piece of paper as he's kind of taking the call.
Okay. Henry is going to send a vine to the shelf that they're on and kind of like get on his butt and kind of slide himself so he's not having to move. It's a quicker way of doing it. So he's kind of like sliding into first base without actually hitting the damn thing, but he's pulling himself closer to the shelf. So that's what he's putting his last juice on. And then he's going to investigate the evidence, both new and old. Just kind of glance over the new stuff that he just put in, see if there's anything that catches his eye. I know Rosalind has told us about the sisters, anything that's tagged for them. I don't know about Bjorny. Anything that's tagged for about Apollo, he's kind of keeping an eye out for. But he's also just looking for anything that was tagged for last night, the Alicot badge, his shoe, and that kind of stuff. So, ebb and flow, because he's also kind of keeping an eye on the other guy, in the room. And evasive footwork, because anytime that guy kind of shifts his body weight or his position, Henry kind of tries to get as close to the wall or close to the shelving as possible. So he kind of tries to make himself seem smaller,
Okay, that makes sense.
So let's see, investigation. So a mild success.
Okay, so you're able to kind of get up there, and you're going to get, with your 2 powers, you're going to get 2 questions to ask, and I will give you 2 answers, right? You're going to spend those clues for answers.
Okay.
So why don't we do that? But then we're going to talk about the consequence.
Okay. First question, is there anything that points to the sisters? Any evidence-wise?
Nothing on the shelf. No.
Nothing on the shelf. Okay. Question number 2. Where is my shoe, and how is it tagged with the other evidence from last night?
Is tagged part of the evidence crime scene for the library, and there's like there's a primary number, and then there's a secondary number for the case number, and it's obvious that it's different than the other primary case number, or it's different than the other secondary case number, because what you see up there as well is the alley cat patch that Roz found earlier, and it's tagged with a different sub, essentially a sub case number, a different, different extension to the primary case.
He's going to. Is there a box, like a banker's box? He's going to try to lump all the evidence that he finds that is tagged crime scene into a box, and he's going to try to take that box.
Okay, you're able to do that. Sure, you're able to kind of grab things and do that. But as you do, there's a group of people that you kind of catch beginning to walk by the window, and you now find yourself exposed.
Okay. Oh,
sorry. Wrong button.
Okay. Where am I in relation to the door? Like,
you're pretty. Oh shit! I screwed things up. All right. Sorry, I was just checking the stream just to make sure how bad I screwed up, and I screwed it up. So my bad. So you are pretty close to the door, but the door leads into the hallway where the group of people is starting to move through.
Are they moving? So I assume that there's a hallway that has like stairs or something that leads upwards into the upper levels of the precinct.
Oh, sure, but it's not directly outside that door.
No, it's not. So I'm trying to think if how Henry is going to get out of that. He can't. I feel like he can't go back the way he came, because he now has this banker box, and he kind of like just has it strapped to him with vines onto his back, kind of deal. Mm-hmm. Oh God. All right, I'm gonna try to go for the door. How am I gonna go for the door? Yeah.
If you're going for the door, is this? I mean, are you taking a risk at this point?
Yeah, I'm taking a risk.
You're taking a risk to be completely exposed.
To be completely exposed, but I'm going to go for the door, and my attempt is to try to blend in Assassin's Creed style with the mob of people coming in, maybe like tailing in the back kind of deal. I know it's probably not going to be that easy because I'm in scrubs and I have a giant wood mask on, but hey.
Okay, sure, why not?
Yeah. So he's going to try to go for the door, but he's going to try. So the first thing is he's taking a risk to go for the door, but he's going to try to time it to where he's going to take a piece of evidence and he's going to throw it to the other side of the room.
Okay.
To make a clatter. So if the guy's on the phone, he's going to be like, oh, something fell or something. And he's trying to create a diversion to make him leave and go to the other side of the room. So that would be like take the risk, right? Or sneak around.
Okay, so let me be very clear about this. So you're going to try to sneak out through the door to get to lump yourself into this group that's going to be walking by. But in order to do that, you're going to make a distraction inside to distract the guy that's currently working in the.
Yeah, because I feel like I feel like his desk is right next to the door.
Okay.
So
let's call it one take a risk. I just wanted to be very clear about the series of steps that were going to happen as all this.
Mm-hmm. Ebb and flow, so he can kind of gauge when the group's coming down and how the guy's body language is. So and then evasive footwork to swipe something from the shelf, throw it to the other side of the room, and try to sneak out the door.
Okay, do it.
And let me make sure everything's checked properly.
Mild success.
Mild
Okay.
success.
So this is where we get to have fun with a bargain, or
I'm glad I'm not making great success rolls. It made me change up my tactics a lot. I love it.
Yeah, it's good when it makes you think about things. Okay, so hard bargain.
Mm-hmm.
You can, let's see, you can make it out into the hallway, but you're going to be seen by the guy that's working that's working in the evidence area. That's your hard bargain. So you're going to get exposed, but you will make it into the hallway with the group. The ugly choice becomes you can lose the opportunity. You can realize that you're going to screw up, lose the opportunity to get out into the group, but you can successfully distract everyone so that you can take an additional action. So that's your ugly choice.
I'm going to take the hard bargain. I'm going to let the guy see me as I leave.
All right, excellent. So you jump out. You make the distracting noise. Something goes flying. The guy kind of goes, "What the hell was that?" And kind of looks around as he kind of sees your essentially your feet, your footsteps, the bottom half. You just kind of leaving out the door as you kind of move into this group, and the group doesn't even really notice you because it's a large group of people, filled with there's a medical person in our corner there. There's some plainclothes detectives, and so because of the nature of it, like the nature of this group, there's just a bunch of people kind of moving through. So you successfully slip in, but they're like, you hear from behind the evidence kind of counter, "Hey, who was that? Who's out there?"
Henry immediately drops his mask at this point, so he kind of just doesn't look like a guy walking around with a giant wooden mask on. And he's just carrying the evidence, and he's kind of hanging back. He's carrying the box of evidence, and he doesn't respond to the guy behind him. Because if he responds to the guy behind him, it's going to alert the group that he's currently in. So,
okay,
yeah, and then as that group passes like the stairwell, he's going to try to slip off into the stairwell and try to climb as efficiently as he can to the roof.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you message or text or interface with Roz or the Charlie at this point, or do you?
He's going to wait till he's outside.
Okay.
He's still way too into this to safely be like, "Hey guys, I got it." Because as soon as you say, "Hey guys, I got it," 2 cops come right through the door. I know this luck.
Okay. All right. So we're going to cut back to Roz and Charlie as they've been escorted outside.
We walked outside.
You were escorted.
No,
out.
we were not.
Absolutely not. We walked
led
outside.
the way.
They
tried to escort us, but we walked faster than they could.
Yeah, we're way more fit anyway.
You're way more what?
Fit.
Okay.
Fit.
We had one of those oversized donut eating cops that,
all right.
You couldn't keep up with us.
Officer Chunk.
So a couple things. Well,
did you take the cookies that she threw at you, or did you leave them there?
I put them on the floor and I left.
That's gross.
I walked on the box as I left, and my heel dug into the box a little.
And
it didn't break it. And I left it there. So we walk outside with together, and I'm still kind of typing furiously.
As you're walking.
Yes.
You're walking down the stairs to the first floor then to walk.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I do? I check my dating apps and see if somebody named Roth. Derek Roth is on any of the dating apps.
Ooh,
I mean, was he cute? I feel like he's cute.
I feel like the name Derek Roth.
Derek Roth is a good name.
Yeah, and
he sounds cute, but when you look at him, he looks like a Nosferatu from Vampire the Masquerade, all like mangled and shit.
I'm
Hey
thinking
guys.
I'm thinking he looks more like Dimitri from
Anastasia.
All right, that's
So
pretty good
what
too.
you're saying is that Derek looks like actually like John Cusack, because that's what Dimitri
That's
looks
fine.
like.
very young John Cusack.
Lauren's okay with this.
What's that movie where he's like iconic with the boombox?
Let's say
Say anything.
Yeah, say anything. Yeah,
Yeah, like that age Derek Roth.
yeah.
All right. Well, I would say that Derek Roth is probably a little bit older than that, but okay. All right, whatever.
Even better.
So, Roz,
What,
since this is
Johnny?
the first real time that you have brought this up, please
Yeah.
describe to us which dating apps is Roz on.
I'm on all the dating apps.
Every single one.
No, Roz, I want to know which dating apps.
What are they
you're
called
on.
here? Okay, so in this world, what we've got some called
This is where I feel that
Bow.
we really need McLogan to just start rambling off some of his weird sort of dating
or
apps.
I can contribute. Cupid's bow can be one. 'Cause I
Cupid's
think
bow.
that sounds cute.
Okay.
Aphrodite me.
Protein. There's still farmers only.
So that's Aphrodite is so just to be clear that we're not trying to be culturally insensitive. That is spelled like Aphrodite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
All
play
right.
on words of
I
Aphrodite.
want to clarify because I laughed and then I realized, okay, that could be a problem. So I just want to be very clear since we're all white here, and I didn't want to be completely
No.
insensitive whatsoever.
Like Aphrodite.
But
Aphrodite.
Yeah.
Afro.
Okay.
Aphrodite me.
Aphrodite.
Okay. Cupid's bow, Aphrodite me. Farmers only still exists.
For some reason.
Even though we live in a city, there's still farmers only.
Alter ego.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
cute.
All right, alter ego. Is that sort of like what was the Ask Madison of dating?
I feel like it's like no profile pics, only like descriptions and stuff, and it's like you can be whatever you want to be.
What's the dating app where people only post pictures of like their animals and you have to decide if you like them on pictures?
What's the one with the one where you just you match based on things you mutually hate?
Ooh,
Like,
Oh, that's a good one.
Like Kath Devereaux.
ooh.
One example.
God, come up with a good name for that one. That one's
Yeah,
fun.
that one needs
Apple of Discord.
Oh, because that would, what is that goddess? Eris?
Yeah.
Eris.
Yeah. yeah.
All right.
Every single day. Oh,
All right.
what if you guys met on the ones where you both dislike cat?
That's what I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. That would be so specific.
If for some reason you both dated Kath and you both dislike Kath.
So yes, he would be on that one because it fucking makes sense and it's beautiful. Did Lauren just get broken?
I've been broken the whole night.
Okay.
A lot of relationship drama for
There's a couple in chat that are pretty funny too.
So plenty of riffs, and Misty also works really well too.
It just reminds me of Play Misty for me, which is about a messed up relationship.
Well, that's if you that's for pairing stalkers and they're stalking.
Oh, great! I'm not on that
You
one.
would definitely be right. You've had, I mean, Roz would definitely have had stalkers in the past, right?
Yeah,
He probably still has stalkers.
Don't say that, Misty. Plenty of riffs. These are all great.
Plenty of riffs is for specific people who know that they're riffs and they just want to date other riffs.
Yeah.
I make weird rift. Never mind.
To which Speedy made it uncomfortable and was exactly where my head went. What is the grinder version? What is the grinder equivalent of?
Something short for Achilles and Patroclus.
Yeah.
The heel?
Yeah.
I feel like that's also a foot fetish one, though.
Oh, that could be. Both is
All right.
good. You're welcome. We're helping expand your world. It's great.
All right, so he's definitely on the one where you have mutual hate for something, and it's definitely his coworkers what he has mutual hate for. But he does not say calf.
Well, it's fine. I assume it's Kath.
Well, you could also say that your mutual thing is you hate coworkers because the other Charlie is not as good as me.
That's true. That's true. He's okay, but
he just doesn't do his job correctly.
I know. Yeah.
All right,
so I get on there.
We've ran down this line of just tangent in respect to dating.
You're welcome.
What do you want to do with that information?
Oh, I'm gonna swipe right.
Okay, that's not gonna have. It's not gonna have an effect until later, but it's definitely.
Yeah, no, I'm just setting up things.
Okay, all right.
And I'm still if there's a bench or something, because we're not leaving without Henry.
Okay.
Until Henry messages us, I assume, unless Charlie wants to.
No, we're gonna wait for him.
We're gonna go sit on a bench, and I'm gonna keep working on this story that's gonna go live tomorrow.
Okay, so just so I'm gonna be very, very clear about where you guys are.
Yeah.
What floor are you doing this on? Are you
I was gonna go outside.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, so you're walking down the stairs to get out of here. So we're gonna cut back to Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Henry, you're 2 stories up when all hell breaks loose. Because the alarm goes off. And it's like this klaxon sound, and it's just like nails your senses as you're kind of in this hallway where it's just really echoey. And we're going to cut back to Charlie and Roz, who are just walking down to the first floor where this klaxon alarm just kind of goes off. And Charlie, for just a second, you are completely disoriented. Your senses are just overloaded as this thing just kind of goes off. And Roz, what you do is you see that there is a bunch of uniformed cops that are just coming sort of out of the woodwork, and they're just kind of beginning to secure the front door and kind of closing things off.
Oh, good.
And we're going to cut back to Henry as the door in front of him from the next floor kind of opens, and he begins to uniformed officers kind of coming out, and one of them is brandishing a gun forward in front of him, a handgun. And that's where we're going to end it.
Oh boy. Why do people point guns at Henry? It's not going to end well.
When somebody points guns at Henry, if somebody points guns at any of you, it doesn't seem to end well right now.
Well,
but
it takes care of it. But currently, Charlie's probably on the floor.
Yeah,
we're working our way down to the floor.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're on the first floor. You're footsteps away from the entrance to this place.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying though is, if she's having a sensory overload, she's probably falling to the floor.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. You're absolutely. You're probably going to end up on your knees just for a second as you try to recover from this. So Henry, I just want to let you know this is a result of your hard bargain.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
I gave you an ugly choice or a hard bargain, and you chose the hard bargain. So I'm looking forward to this.
Hard bargains are still better than devil's bargains.
Yeah.
What? That's not true. That's not true at all.
Absolutely.
I don't know what you're talking about, child. Anyways. Okay. Well, that was an awesome session. Really did miss Valanda, but you guys did amazing tonight. So
she would have talked sense into us.
I mean, she's gonna come back to a lot of texts.
So many texts.
Too many texts. I mean, it's gonna be crazy, right?
Oh.
She's gonna be like, what?
All right, guys. So why don't we go around the table and we do some outros, and I'll take care of a little bit of business, and then we will get out of here and go raid somebody. So first, let's start with, we'll go in reverse order this time. Why don't we start with Lauren?
Yes. Wow. What a mess that was. Very happy to have put my foot into it. So great. So exciting. It's going to be fine. I'm Lauren. I'm That Salty Ginger. That's where you can find me on Twitter, at That Salty Ginger. I DM on Encounter Roleplays on Mondays at 1 p.m. EST. And I play in an awesome Pulp Cthulhu campaign on Sunday nights at, what time is that at? 7 p.m. EST on Grimjack 21502, where I play a psychic who likes to punch Nazis with her mind. It's great. Check it out.
And I understood you rebuilt your bookstore with your mind. Is that
With
what you were
my
talking earlier?
mind.
I don't know. I'm just going to have to blow it up again. I really feel the need to.
You can't. It's immune to you. Can't do it.
All right, if you say so.
I do. Don't.
All right, next up, we're going to go with Alex.
Hi, I'm Zippy Zippo. You can catch me here on Twitch at Zippy_Zippo, where we do a variety of different types of games. We like to do a lot of nostalgic games. Right now, we're playing through Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines and having fun with that. So
awesome. By the way, I fixed the link in chat. If anybody noticed earlier, Alex's Twitter account was actually listed as a Twitch account. So I am so sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I was like, I'm just gonna post it in chat and just kind of like let it lie, and then something was like deleted link. Eat that.
Go.
Say, oh, dodgies.
Yeah. All right. And last but not least, let's go to Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam, also known as Harley's Armory. You can find me on Twitter at Harley's Armory, and I guess Twitch too, but I don't stream yet. And also on Encounter Roleplay on Monday mornings with Lauren.
With who?
With Lauren as my DM, where she tries to kill us a lot. We have a Kraken.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, cool. Thanks, guys. It was, again, a really good session. A little bit of a surprise the direction it went. I'm not sure if the shoe was worth it.
Absolutely worth it.
Oh, it was like shoe, patch, anything else that was like briefly tagged last night's dates. He just threw into the box. So yeah, he's going to take it back and he's going to test it for samples at his at the lab at the school.
I mean, he's not stealing; he's returning.
Yeah, I'm borrowing it. I'm gonna leave it on the front door.
Borrowing.
He wants his shoe back.
I want my shoe back. $400 shoes, super comfort, Tempur-Pedic, memory foam.
They're like Crocs without the ugliness of Crocs.
They're like Dr. Crocs.
Which are Crocs.
I'm so confused, guys. You guys are so weird. All right. So we'll take care of a little bit of business. So this is the 6 and 20. This is Metropolis. This is the Tuesday crew. 6 and 20 is this really awesome thing that we do, and I'm gonna post a bunch of stuff in chat about it. Hi guys. It's a thing we do 3 times a week across 3 different channels. On Tuesday nights we have the doozies here. On Wednesday nights over on Unmade Gaming, we do, I believe they're calling themselves Lazarus this time. I hope that's what they're calling themselves, because that's what I currently have listed in the chat information that I'm putting in. There you can find the information for Wednesday night. And on Thursday nights, it's Team Esper with
NotSoSpeedRuns.
Oh, yeah, I see what you did there, buddy. And so, again, to give everybody a follow, you want to go ahead and check this out. Again, we're here every Tuesday from 5 to 8 Pacific, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what Central or Mountain Time is right now, and time is kind of funky because of Daylight Savings Time. Wednesdays over at Unmade, and then Thursdays over at NotSoSpeedRuns. And I want to say big thank you to Speedy for hosting the show tonight. Again, some technical difficulties. He was able to step up and actually just kind of run the stream for us. And it was really awesome. So thank you, Speedy. Give him a follow specifically just for that.
Yeah,
He's an awesome guy. Wait, do I hear you still?
Yeah, you should I'm here.
Stop taking over my channel or my call,
this
man.
This is mine now. Although it still says I'm Valanda, but you know.
All right. And so if you are really interested in playing this game, we have a little deal for you that you can see right there. It's a discount code or a coupon code specifically for 6 and 20. We got a relationship with Son of Oak, and they are doing this discount for us. And you just follow that link there. You plug in 6 and 20 fan, and you get the PDF and the core book for the price of the core book. So please go ahead and do that. We absolutely love this game. We're having a good time with it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And with that, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go and raid Saving Throw Show, because we've never raided them, and we've got a decent-sized crowd. So let's go show them some love. And they are currently playing Starfinder. So if Starfinder is the Pathfinder Saving Throw Show, I think I can type Pathfinder being Starfinder being the space opera version of Pathfinder. Let's see if that worked. No, that did not work. Sorry, guys. Give me just 1 second as I type all this out. So they're having a good time, and they do some really cool stuff over there. They also do D&D, they do Star Wars. They have not done Blades in the Dark or City of Mist, which has been our games, but I'm very curious to see what else they go ahead and do. So please go ahead and jump on and go over there and tell them the love, and I will give you guys the raid command for that as we get out of here. Hello, raid command. Where'd you go? Right there.
You have lots of time to still kill.
Oh, I know. I have plenty of time.
Very little
but
time.
I finally got the raid commands actually working, even though the bot isn't up right now. So I made sure to have all that. Anyways, guys, I just want to say a big thank you for coming out, watching us. Videos are getting uploaded to YouTube, and we will see you guys later. So from all of us to all of you,
It's gone. We're gone.
Here we're gone. Of course. Whatever.